You know what it is, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
You know who it is, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Odie, Maurice, Odie, Maurice.
Maurice, Odie, Maurice, Odie.
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Hey, oh.
Yes, Mo?
Are you ready?
Let's go!
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy. It's the Black and Snurdy podcast with Odie and Maurice.
Hello.
Hola.
Is it me you're looking for?
Oh my goodness. I used to do this with my best friend in high school. We would just like stare at each other and just go like hello, and then like we would caress each other's face.
Oh, that's cute. What was your best friend in high school's name?
Travis. Yeah, I don't
Shout
know
out
if
to
I
you,
should.
Travis. Hopefully you hear this and know that Maurice is still thinking of the lovely times.
Yeah. Oh, and shout out to you because according to Facebook, you got a girlfriend. So good for
Ooh.
you. I hope you're doing well.
We love to hear it. We love to see it.
Yes.
Well, I'm Odie,
And I'm Maurice.
and you're listening to the Black and Snurdy podcast. Thank you for coming out again.
Thank you for listening to another one of these episodes. I enjoy doing them. I love doing them with you. And why don't we just get started with some Q&A, some questions.
Questions.
Quick questions.
I'll let you
and
pick
answers.
which one you want.
I'm going to go with this one. This one all the way at the back, yes.
This one here? No,
my
which
back,
one?
forward, front to
This
me.
one.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Good Foley. Good Foley work.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Which shoes would you most love to have in your closet? Ooh, I know what you're gonna say for this one.
Of course, like any color of the Adidas Top 10 highs. Those were the first like comfortable sneaker that either my mom or my sister had purchased for me, and I loved them so much as a kid that like I wore them down like to the sole basically because I would wear them every single day. And now as an adult, I just like my collection is just a bunch of those shoes.
And you just got some new ones that are really
And I
cool.
just got some new ones that are a really nice color. How about you?
I'm gonna have to break this down
Does
for
Toomey
the
make shoes?
different categories of shoes
No, boy.
because I can't say like one, I'm gonna say sneakers, say Air Maxes.
Okay.
Because in general, I really like the colors of them, and they're generally very comfy.
You tend to have like a vibrant, if you can, vibrant colors of shoes.
Yes.
Yes.
And then sandals, I'm gonna go with my Birkenstocks.
Yeah, your Birks.
Because those are very comfy, and I think even if I had like whether it's the cushiony ones I have or those regular material ones, they're all good shoes.
Yeah.
And then like a fancy shoe.
You don't wear a lot of heels.
I don't. Well, I haven't. I wear heels to generally walk to the car.
Genitally?
No, generally walk to the car,
Yeah, okay.
walk to my seat, and then go home. Except for those Mary Janes I have,
Okay.
because that is a comfortable heel, and I could walk. I've walked city blocks in those, no issue. But unfortunately, you can't really like Mary Janes. You could wear them with only like a handful of outfits where the shoe's gonna work, because otherwise it's gonna be too much.
Yeah, heels are a tough shoe to like really master, quite frankly. Like I applaud all women who have been able to do so.
I mean, me too, because there's certain heels that I like. I would love to
And
say
I love what it does to the rear end.
the shoe
Hooks it
that
up.
I would love the most to have in my closet would be like a pair of Manolo Blahniks or Louboutins.
Oh, okay, Samantha. Like
Yeah, I
really?
want to have fucking pretty ass fucking stilettos pumps.
In the club.
Exactly. I just have to settle. I mean, I could still wear certain heels, but they're going to be stacked heels because they're going to have to be comfortable. Because the moment my feet start hurting, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I will bring a bigger bag to put shoes in so that I can take my shoes off throughout the night and wear something comfortable. Yeah. Like, I'll put the shoes back on for pictures, but I can imagine, like, I've always had this kind of thought of, like, when I got married, I would have, like, a pair of really cool looking, like, maybe bejeweled sneakers.
You're gonna bedazzle your shoes.
I might put a little sparkle on them because they're sneakers, right?
Now, is this a Nigerian wedding or is this a different style of wedding? Like,
no, for both of them, for both my traditional wedding and my white wedding. Yeah.
Why are you having two weddings?
Because I'm gonna have a traditional wedding and I'm gonna also have the white wedding.
What's the white wedding?
Like, it's like when you do the
Where
church
you invite
wedding.
all your. Oh, okay, sorry.
No, it's not. I mean, you can invite your white friends to both of them. There are plenty of white people who have been to traditional weddings. No, just because they call it the white wedding because that's like the traditional church wedding.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm having both of them so that I can incorporate both of those things, both of my cultures, my American wedding and my Nigerian wedding.
Yeah, and incur cultural debt.
I don't care. It doesn't have to. You don't have to have that much debt.
I feel like your traditional wedding is gonna be like very lavish and costly.
I mean, it could be, but it also, like, in my head,
I'm imagining like all sorts of like garish sort of affairs.
I would say that, like, Nigerian traditional weddings, at least for Igbo people, we don't generally, like, unless you were, so if I was in Nigeria and this was maybe like, because like now, like, you're going to pay like a bride price or whatever, possibly, like, that still happens.
What's a bride price?
It's like a dowry.
Oh, it's a dowry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But, like,
is it this is what the father pays?
No, the husband.
The husband has to pay?
Yeah, but like, if you think about it, at this point,
it's highway robbery.
At this point, though, it's not like when my sister got married. My brother-in-law, he paid it, but it's kind of like they're both paying it, like, because his money's her money. So
where does the money go? It goes to the family.
Goes to like
the father.
So like when he paid the bride price, he paid it to our village, and it's like goes to the elders. But it's not just money. It was like it was like cigarettes and
okay.
So it was like stuffs,
just like air, just like some Air Maxes.
Yes, exactly.
And,
I mean, because the thing is, it's not to say, and this is the bride price and dowry. If you're thinking about any cultures, you're paying the dowry. If it's the husband paying the dowry to the community, it's because they are losing that community member and the resources that would come with them. So you're like, what's the word? Supplementing it, whatever. And then are
they like? Is it a thing where they have to move out of the village? Like, why are they losing
not necessarily
that?
out of the village, but like if you're in your parents' home,
yeah.
Like previously, the children were like your little employees. If you think about it, this is literally any part of the world.
Yes.
You are a farmer. You have children. Those children work the land. If you marry your children off, then who's going to be working the land with you? Or whatever the thing you're doing. So it's like you're paying them for this loss of labor and resources that they were going to be having. Or sometimes if it's the situation where the family pays the bride price or the dowry to the man, I think in that instance, generally it's some kind of idea of like, because then the man's going to be taking on
more responsibility,
and it's like you're alleviating that family of like, quote unquote, like the burden of having an extra mouth to feed.
Oh, okay.
So it's like that. Yeah. And it's like, because before, if you think about it, most women were not, in most cultures, wasn't like we were allowed to work. So it's like, if you're going to this man's home, how are you going to, like, what would be the great thing about me marrying you? Like you see in Bridgerton, about the dowries and how it was so important.
Yes.
So basically that. So like, however, when you said active animals, from my knowledge, traditional Igbo specifically, because I can't tell you about the other tribes, but we don't like having if you having a traditional wedding,
like a pachyderm or something.
You might have if there's live animals, generally because they're gonna like be making them for like getting food. But unless you're doing, I don't think I've ever seen, except for people
Fresh
trying
on
to
the
be
table.
like crazy fancy. I personally don't think that our traditional weddings, they're not super in the sense of animals. Like, you know how like Indian weddings, certain Indian weddings will have like the elephants might come. They have other animals that are like generally a part of it. We're not doing that. Now, not to say that people, because they see things on Instagram and they're just trying to look poppin', all of a sudden they're not trying to go all out and crazy and have it very Instagrammable. But animals, I don't think are generally like a thing. But I'm also American, so
Okay.
I could be missing. If you're Nigerian, please let me know your tribe, how old you are, and whether or not.
Do we need to know how
animals.
old they are?
Yeah, because I feel like depending on like their generation, because I feel like
Okay.
the way that now, when my sister got married in 2014, the village elders were asking for a pack of cigarettes. If this had been in the 1960s, they would have been asking for something else, of like, you know, what's gonna be
Yeah.
good for them.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I answered all the questions.
I'm pretty
about the
sure.
shoes.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, your turn.
My turn. What one possession means the most to you? Now, to me, it's this ring. My grandfather left it to me when he passed away. Shout out to my grandfather. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I can shout out to my grandfather, right? He passed, but like he left it to me. Yeah, it means a lot to me. And
Is this Williams?
yes. This is William Cornish. He was an amazing man. He was an A-raver, which is those horse and buggy watermelon fruit vendors.
Is that what it's called? A-raver?
A-raver, yes.
Okay, because I thought you said something else.
No, not racist.
And I was a bit confused.
no.
But I'm glad to know that you cleared that up.
Hence
for
why I
me.
was clearing it up in real time. Yes.
No, that's great. I love that. Say that again.
What one possession means the most to you? Oh, it's either that or my the Bible that my grandfather left. My other grandfather, Roy Licorice, left
Yes.
on my. I basically I still have it. I used to keep money in it, but now I just keep it at like my bedside because it is very old and it is falling apart. Like I tried to open it one day and it kind of like tore. So I do not touch that Bible anymore. But it's just nice to have a Bible next to my bed. You know,
is.
just to have. It's a little reminder of both my grandparents.
Well, I love that.
Do you find yourself like forgetting what they look like
Yeah.
as time goes on? Because like it just dawned on me, he is now not relatively recently, but like I have now lived longer without him than with him, or without my grandparents than with my grandparents.
Yeah. I was thinking about that like a while ago, because I was like, just seeing people on Facebook like had been posting up pictures with their grandparents, and I was very jealous. And I find myself getting very jealous with people who have grandparents and they don't like have maybe like, you know, they don't really talk to them and they don't go see them and stuff like that a lot, because I'm just like,
there's this fountain of knowledge that you're just wasting by not spending time with
like
them.
I'm sad that my Nana and Pop and then my grandma and grandpa in Nigeria, that like, I think, who knows, we might have videos of my grandpa from when my dad went, but like, who knows, we'd have to find those, all those tapes. And then like with like my Nana and Pop here, they both passed before, I have pictures of them, but I don't think I have any recordings of them. And I that makes me like, when people have who have like videos of their grandparents, even when they're old and maybe they can't talk or just, you know, but they still have them. I get very envious of that, because I'm jealous, because I can hear my Nana's voice only like it feels like so faintly, like such a faint memory.
Yeah, like I've entirely forgotten what my grandmother sounds like. You know, like I wanna, and I don't, you know, like I think my mom or my sister has her as her Facebook photo. So like I have that, but it's like a photo of her with my nephew as a little baby. But like trying to dredge up those memories it's difficult for me just because it's been so long. Like they passed when I was in high school, you know. So it's tough. It's a tough thing.
And I wish I had, like, sometimes I feel bad that, like, my Nana died when I was like a week after my 13th birthday, and I just remember when I was little sometimes being so, like, I would be like annoyed with her for being old in some ways, or like I would think,
not able to keep up with somebody with all the sprightly energy.
Well, because sometimes I definitely was a sprite, but because it was like sometimes I would like notice her being like, you know, walking normally and stuff like that, and like I'd be like, I feel like you're just pretending to walk slow, you know, like
this is some sort of weird long con, like in The Usual Suspects or something.
Yeah, like it would be like I'm catching you. When you because she couldn't. My Nana had diabetes, so my mom wouldn't keep like cookies and stuff out because she would eat like a whole sleeve of the Oreos or whatever the cookie was.
So you come by, yeah, honestly.
I do at times indulge in Oreo sleeves, but
Cheetos Puffs.
She would do that, so my mom would like hide them. But sometimes, one time, she was in the kitchen and puttering around, and she had stuck like cookies in her sweater to bring them into her room. And it was like she turned around, her sweater was all like a lumpy space princess. Yeah. And my mom was like, "Mommy, I could see that you have something in your sweater." And it's like, you have diabetes, you cannot eat these super sweet things. Oh,
it's gonna be hell when I get diabetes.
Like,
because it's coming. Like the way that I eat sweets, it's ridiculous. I'm surprised we don't have any Swedish fish right now. Just clumped up in the middle of the table.
I'm glad that we do not.
Yeah.
And we're drinking water.
Yes, we're drinking. Well, we're also, drinking vodka.
But water still.
Yes, there's still water on the premises.
But like sometimes those are not those are memories that come up like if I'm talking about her, but those aren't memories that come up just randomly. But I mean, I still try to talk to them so that I can try and like in my head, like kind of think about what she would be saying to me. Because not seeing them or hearing from them it's
sad.
Sad.
Yes, it's a really, boy, I didn't really expect this to take a turn, and we're gonna stay on this kind of like beat for a little bit. So,
well, you know what? I'm just grateful that I was able to be raised in the house with my Nana.
Yeah.
And even though I think that like her death was so devastating to me, because it was like having like a parent die.
Yeah.
It's still, I'm very grateful that I was able to grow up with her, because I don't think there are plenty of people who have grandparents who didn't get to spend like I spent such an inordinate amount of time with my Nana because I was with her every day from like we moved in with my Nana when I was like 3 or 4, from then until I was 13. That's a great amount of time of like getting to hear her talk and sing her random songs and do her little dances. So sometimes when I get home and I'm like, home again, jiggity G. Just because that's like something that she, like
Would
when I like when
say
I
all the time.
yeah,
Jiggity G.
home again, jiggity G.
Home again, jiggity G.
Don't know why she would say that. She never explained it. But like when I come to my house and I say that, like that's like sometimes the closest I can get to hearing her voice.
Oh.
But that's like
Even though I've never heard you say this ever. This was the first time I've ever heard you say home again.
I don't generally say it out loud. I usually say it in my head.
In your brain. Okay.
Yeah.
Say it out loud more. Just say it out loud. It's fun. It sounds fun. Home again, jiggity G. I'm stealing that. Like,
Hey,
that's now what
you
I'm
can
going to
use
say
it,
as soon as I walk into my house. If I ever leave my house.
I know that Nana will be like, "Thank you for spreading the word."
Yeah.
Okay, wait. What was the question?
What one possession means the most to you?
I think that my moonstone ring or my anklet.
Oh, okay.
No, not or. My moonstone ring first.
Yes.
My anklet one is second.
Okay. Well, that's very nice.
Because they're important for different reasons.
Yes, they are. Yes. Okay. That makes sense. What's the final cue? Final question.
What's the most fun game for a group?
Oh, it's Jenga. It has to be fucking Jenga.
You
Like,
know,
for a group, especially if it's one of those really big Jengas.
I
love building up the tower. I love fucking with people.
you know what? We need to get a big Jenga for the next time we go to the beach.
Yes.
Because that would be very fun. I love Jenga. It's one of my favorite games to play. Even if I do not win, it's just enjoyable. The suspense. Shut up. The suspense gets you.
I think at one point I just walked away from the table because I knew you were gonna lose. I'm just like, all right.
You don't have to call me out. All right.
Look, listen, call a spade a spade. It's a fun game to play with friends. And two things could be true at the same time. It's a really fun game to play. You always lose.
But I'm gonna go with Taboo.
Okay. Yeah. I like playing Taboo. You know what? That's the kind of, we didn't really get a chance to play. We got one game in yesterday.
Yeah, but it was a good game.
It was a good game. It was close to the end.
I think that we definitely could. We could bring more games next time.
Yes.
But that was a good game to play with. This little spinner we just kept getting weird in the sand. But,
Yeah.
But otherwise, it was a solid choice.
It was solid. Yeah. Okay, I co-sign Taboo.
All right, good.
Yes.
Yay.
So that is our Q&A section. Q&A. So now we have to get into some down business.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
We have a mixture
somber.
of, there's honestly a lot of things that, there's just shenanigans, sadness, and terror galore. So just going to kind of go down the list.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready? I thought you were gonna, usually you like to have some sort of reverent
Yes.
hymn.
Yes, that's what's playing now.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, it takes like a, there we go.
All right, great. All right, so one, we have to send out loads of prayers to the people in Tulsa, Oklahoma. There was another shooting there.
Mm-hmm.
There was a shooting this weekend in Philadelphia on South Street.
Yeah.
I also just learned about a terror attack in Nigeria at a church.
Jesus.
Where it's like upwards to 50 or more people may be dead.
Jeez.
Then I learned today that Metro Boomin, he's the producer. His mother, Leslie Joan Wayne, was murdered by her husband, who then killed himself, which is just, it's your parent dying is terrible in itself.
Yes.
But just the whole the way,
that it happened, the way that it all unfolded is murder-suicide is terrible.
Sending so much love to his family and also to Master P's family. His daughter Tatiana Miller passed away at 29. He said that the family is experiencing overwhelming grief. And they didn't say how she died, but she had been dealing with substance abuse addiction, and he wrote mental illness and substance abuse is a real issue that we can't be afraid to talk about. With God, we will get through this. So, just very sad. She was only 29, very young.
Yeah, that's very young.
So, just sending everyone, just take care of yourselves, and take care of one another. If you see someone's going through something, just give them a hug. Tell them you care about them, and even if you don't know if they're going through something, just if someone's being grouchy next time, think, I don't know what this person's going through, and I'm just going to be kind, because there's just constantly so much going on that you can't you have to sometimes think outside yourself and think about what the people around you might be dealing with.
Yes.
So that's all the sad news for now, but we can go into a pop culture segment.
And that was the end of the song too. So, all right. So, where do you want to go? What do you want to do first? Like, can we at the very least end on something funny or ridiculous? But start off wherever you want to go. I'm following.
Okay, I will end with something ridiculous. Yes. I might shake up the order.
Yes.
But I'm gonna start off with something equally ridiculous, but for different reasons.
Yes.
So you are aware of a man named Dr. Umar Johnson, correct?
Yes, he is the quintessential Hotep.
He is the Photep Supreme.
Yes, he is King Tep.
He is King Tep.
Yeah,
that is a good one.
Yes.
So it appears sometime last week he was in Cherry Hill in Jersey at the mall, and someone got a video of him talking to this blonde queen with a K, a KW queen.
K for Karen.
Yes, K for Karen. And he is geeking, cheesing, laughing, giggling it up, and it looked like it was just like a regular conversation. And then next thing you know, she's dialing like some numbers in her phone, and then he's like keying up and smiling, and she's smiling, giggling, and then the video after that the video ends.
Trying to get that doctorate.
And so
BBC.
He, of course, Mr. Black women are tearing down the black community because they wear weaves or dye their hair blonde, and if they are in an interracial relationship, are somehow shading the black man and blah blah blah. People were clowning him on social media, and I feel like, to me, people weren't clowning him because of the fact that he was seen talking to a white woman or trying to pick up a white woman. It's just more of the hypocrisy, at least for me. Like, I don't care who you're dating or like that's just like whatever. But if you're constantly telling black people, especially black women, who they're supposed to be and how much like just being a regular person is somehow bringing down the black community, then this sort of thing is going to make me laugh at you.
Yeah.
But then he posted a response that said, "Yes, I was at Cherry Hill Mall today. My iPhone crashed last night, and the closest Apple store with an available appointment today was in Jersey. As I was leaving the mall, I stopped at a kiosk to view the incense and crystals. That non-African woman is simply the vendor. A supporter came by for a photo, a black man, which prompted her to ask who I was. I told her I was a popular psychologist in the black community. I paid for my merchandise and went on with my life. If you dusty, snow bunny loving beta males don't believe me, then please visit the mall and ask her personally if we exchange phone numbers. I was dealing with food poisoning and wasn't in the mood for all that anyway.
Oh my God.
So chill, haters. Heavy is the head who wears the crown.
See, told you, King Tep. Over here.
Did I send you the video just to look at it?
I don't.
No?
No, I saw the video.
You did, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just bearing in mind.
Where's the kiosk?
That's number one.
Yeah.
Where's the kiosk? Number two. So you buying incense and crystals from non-African women now? What happened to them being blue-eyed devils? Why would you be buying these things that are supposed to be enlightening your spirit from these people that you hate so much and are so bad?
That's a different energy. That's a different scent.
You know, like, to me, if you're gonna lie, can you at least make the lie like make sense?
Yeah.
You could have just said I was at her. She works I was talking to somebody, because it looks like they're in the fucking food court.
Yeah, that looks
You're in
like
front
some
of Taco
food
Bell.
court shit. Yeah.
Okay. All he had to do is say, I was about to get some food. This person came up, asked me for a picture. This woman asked me who I was because she was like, "Oh, so it's a crowd." Blah blah blah. We started talking and move on.
You supposedly have food poisoning,
and that's the other thing.
Food court. So what did the food poisoning have to do with?
He has food poisoning, but he's over here giggling and laughing. And now I won't know if you ever had food poisoning.
Yeah.
But there is nothing to smile about.
Yeah.
And
like you are working through some pain.
Because even if you're not like pooping, your stomach is cramping up so bad. Like when I've had food poisoning, it has taken all that I could not to like punch people just for looking at me.
Yeah.
Because until you can get home and
and remedy the situation,
lay down and just be miserable.
Yeah.
It is not fun. For him to
really
be, he's doubling over and laughs. There's no way you're doing that when you have food poisoning, because you're going to be afraid you're going to poop on yourself if you bend over too much. So he's a liar. And this is not the first time. Like, I wasn't surprised when I saw this, because there's been so many times throughout the years that he has been rumored to have like a white wife or a white girlfriend. Allegedly, he has a mixed baby. And it's like, to me,
doth protest too much, quite frankly.
There are plenty of conversations that you could have about interracial dating and like all that, how you feel about it. But at the end of the day, like, we don't care about, like, most people do not care if you are dating whoever. We only care if you're trying to say, like, oh, I'm dating this white woman because black women are always so angry. That's the only time I'm going to have an opinion about what you're doing. And it's not going to be about your relationship. It's about you being ignorant and trying to blame me for something that's like a projection of yourself, of what you have issues with.
Yeah.
So you could be a black man
and lose all your soul.
be with a white woman and still be like, riding hard for black people. What's his name? W. Kamau Bell. Yeah. He's a black man. His wife is white. I've never personally heard him say anything disparaging about black women. Yeah. About like, oh, I had to get me this white woman because black women don't know how to act. Like, I've never heard him say anything like that.
No, he just got finished doing the Cosby documentary.
Exactly. And so, like, nobody, at least nobody I know personally, is looking at W. Kamau and being like this race traitor, Yeah, sellout or something like that. Because it's not. There are men that they are dating white women or non-black women, and it's constantly like a comparison to black women. But like, if that's not you, then what does it matter that you're dating someone? And if you feel like your fan base is gonna have issue with that, maybe you should stop lying.
Yeah, because if you can't, maybe stop propagating that kind of message.
Exactly. If I'm not gonna say anything that I can't stand behind and I have to like hide, it's like when one of the things that like was on the list of when I stopped going vegan. It was in the sense of like, you know, if I'm go to Italy, I want to be able to have cannoli and like try it out and not have someone surveilling my Instagram to be like, is that vegan? And like now I'm stressed out because I'm in the mall and maybe I took a sample from Pinkberry and it wasn't the vegan version and someone's gonna be doing like no,
I often forget that you were vegan at one point.
I was, but the stress of people, like there were so many people who were trying to be vegan police about everything that it just created so much anxiety for me. I like not even about like going because I was going out and like trying to eat non-vegan things, but just there's so many
there's a lot
caveats.
of consideration that you have to take in order to fully veganize.
Because some people are freaking vegan Nazis, and they are the ones that ruin it all. But it's like, if you're being, it's just fuck you, Dr. Umar. We don't care. This was ridiculous, and stop lying to us.
We don't care.
You're literally insulting my intelligence by telling us these lies. All right? And also, can we ask you, where is the school?
What?
You don't know about the school that he's been getting donations for the last however, like, decade plus or whatever, that it's not been purchased, not anywhere?
Is he like building a school? Or
he said he was... This has at least been a decade, I feel like, where he said he was building a school.
Oh, he's
and there he was. It was like
he's building a patio.
It was like
another addition to his
the
home.
girls were not going to be allowed to wear weaves or like have certain colored hair. The boys. It was a very much like we're stamping out this the stuff that they're trying to put on the black family. So it was basically going to be like respectability politics, homophobia, patriarchy, just kind of like rolled up in, whatever FOTEP agenda he was going to be pushing at the school. But the shit has never come up. And when you ask
HOTEP High.
When you ask his like HOTEP High. When you ask his like these people that follow him, like, where's the school? They just keep telling you, well, we're waiting for the donations or the government. It's like that, he's trying to buy CBS. Like,
yeah.
Come on, guys.
There's plenty of places where you could like probably make a school at this point, So.
I've seen plenty of people who are like, I've written about them being 21 years old and buying a school in a random area because it's foreclosed, and now, like, it's not that hard. You have $1 million of donations, you can get the school out.
Yeah.
But I saw that and I thought it was quite hilarious.
Yes.
All right. Do you want to talk about... What do you want to talk about first? Nene Leakes or the princess?
Let's get Nene Leakes out of the way.
Okay. So, you remember... Did you ever watch Atlanta Housewives?
No.
Well, several years ago...
I'm familiar with the brand.
But you know who Nene Leakes is, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But several years ago, Nene Leakes was feuding with one of the cast members, Kim Zolciak, the one that did the song "Don't Be Tardy to the Party," white woman with all the she had like the sugar daddy.
Side note: who does I break the windows out your car?
Jasmine Sullivan.
Okay, all right. Because that's what I was gonna queue up next.
But Nene one time said to Kim, close your legs to married men, because it was very well known that Kim was dating this very, very wealthy man, but he happened to be married, and so she used to get like some flack about that. But now, fast forward a decade or so, and Nene is now being charged with the same accusations from her boyfriend, his estranged wife, and her boyfriend is this Liberian man named his name is Neon Isela. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Sayo, and his wife, or his ex, or soon to be ex, is Malamine Tammy Sayo. She's saying that Nene began dating Neon while he was still married to her, and that sharing the pictures of them online was causing her, issues, emotional distress, mental anguish, and now she's trying to sue for more than $100,000.
Jeez.
She's
Trying to get a payday going.
Yeah, so I think there are about...
I wish I could get like $1 for every lawsuit that exists.
Well, the suing people for adultery, I believe I want to say they might be in North Carolina, because in North Carolina it is illegal. It's legal there.
Yeah.
But you used to be in New York City for up until like let's say fairly recently, you could sue for that. Like there were a lot of states where if you're because if you think about it, pre-child support and alimony, etc., women would be getting married.
Yeah.
This pretty young thing at their husband's office is, bringing him coffee and other goodies.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, she and her 2 kids are, having
Assed
to,
out.
figure out what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So you could sue somebody and be like, you have taken my husband or my wife, I guess, and now my life is upended, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that it is, to me personally, I think it is the kind of petty that I approve of.
Yes.
My only caveat here is why is she not suing her estranged husband because she's planning on just getting him in the divorce?
Well, Nene Leakes has all the money, Well,
But
not all the money, but you know what I mean.
Why wouldn't she be suing both of them for this?
Probably.
Versus just because that's my only thing. I don't like when people, whenever like I used to see on Jenny Jones and stuff, where the woman would always run out and start beating up the woman, the guy that was cheating with, and I would always be like, well, why aren't you hitting him? He's the one that had the ownership. The onus was on him to stay faithful to you because that was the agreement you had with him.
Yeah.
This random person, unless it's your like best friend or your sibling, because like there it is like a clear assumption.
Yeah.
You're not gonna fuck my partner.
Yeah.
But this random person on the street, they don't know you, so why beat them up? Sue him for the $100,000, and apparently he's like a Liberian like mogul. I'm sure he has a good little cool million for you.
She's probably gonna get half of that in the divorce anyway.
Maybe that, because I was thinking like, why isn't she suing him? And I was thinking maybe that's why, like, because in the divorce she'll be able to say, look at what it was. Because to me, when I read it, the documents, she didn't say it's not explicit of whether or not they were like legally separated, or if it just was, is it legally separated and you guys were gonna get a divorce and you're just mad that and feel embarrassed that Nene was like posting this stuff up so that people knew before you could say, or was it like maybe you guys were on a little bit of a break and you just needed time to cool off?
Maybe it could be a mixture of the two. Could be any number of things.
So it's like, I feel like it's a very interesting thing. I think that people, do I think she should, if it's a situation where they were just legally, they had been separated and knew they were going to get divorced, and she was just embarrassed because it got out before she could tell people, then I'm kind of like, ma'am, like, you should rethink the situation and maybe not go down this road. But if she like that situation with well, you don't watch the show, but there's another castmate on the show, Portia, who was married and then like broke up with her husband to marry this Nigerian mogul who she met from another housewife, or like she was a friend. I don't know if the woman had a peach, but she was like they get when it was to have a peach as a main cast member.
Yeah.
But she had been like a friend of the show or whatever. So there's pictures of Portia and her husband and that woman and her husband at whatever housewives events, chatting, kikiing it up, and now you find out my husband got all this money, and now you sending him stuff, and now all of a sudden you're going off to be with him. Like, that's a situation I would definitely sue someone, because like you're playing in my face. And you can't punch people, but you can sue them.
Yes, you can. You can sue them. Before I forget, what are your thoughts on peaches? I don't like them.
I love peaches.
I hate peaches.
I love
can't
peaches.
get past the outside
peaches,
texture.
nectarines.
Nectarines are fun.
You just don't like the fuzz of the peach?
The fuzziness of a peach.
Oh,
I can't
no,
tell if it's bad or not. Like,
I love the peaches. I like
it's not
James
sweet.
in the giant peach. Like, to me, would have been perfect. Like, watching that as a kid, I was so jealous at like
him living in the peach with
a
all the bugs.
perfectly ripe. When you have a perfectly ripe peach, and it's the right softness, the right sweetness, I could just eat a whole bag of. Like, I just love them so much.
I'm more of a plum guy.
Oh, I love plums.
A good plum will just carry me through the day.
I love plums.
Maybe that's what I'll get the next time I order groceries.
Yeah, let's do that. If I see any good plums around, I will bring some over.
Yes.
I could just eat the texture of it, the juice, and you never really see plum juice. It's very rare that I go somewhere and I find plum juice.
Yeah, plum juice. Probably because they're so small. It's like getting the juice out of there.
It's expensive.
Like it would be expensive.
It's not like the orange where it's really juicy.
Yeah, yes.
Do you do that thing where you roll the fruit
on the table,
then it gets all the juices out?
No. What's this?
If you just roll it, like you massage it, it kind of is like meat where you make it more tender, but you do that with the fruit and it's like more juicy when you eat it.
Oh, I have to try that.
Yeah, I started doing it a few
do it
years
with a
ago.
banana.
You cannot do it with a banana.
Fucking weird ass like shape of a crescent moon can't be rolled around. But I do love banana juice.
Yes, me
like
too.
in a smoothie, or the banana flavor in a smoothie.
I love bananas in smoothies, but I only like fresh banana juice. Like, don't give me like a flavored banana. Like, all it is, put the banana and some water. If that's like, I guess like that would make the juice. Yeah. And that would be good for me. Like, when I was a kid, I really liked banana milk. That sometimes they would have at school.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. Back to Nene Leakes. I hope that you don't have to pay. I mean, I hope that whatever comes out in this case, that all parties feel the justice was served, and that y'all can just have, a lovely, drama-free relationship, because, what's her name? Nene Leakes' husband just died. He died a few months before she announced that she and this guy had gotten together, which I personally, I didn't feel like that was a big deal. She and her husband, like, they had been back and forth, like, on the rocks a few years, like, separating, getting back together, and then he had cancer. Oh. And it was like, I think that when somebody that you love has like a terminal illness, the grieving that you're doing that kind of while they're alive. And then it's like, not to say when they are gone that it's like, oh, I just feel so chill about them dying. But I think that sometimes the grieving process looks a little different than when someone just dies randomly. And so I think that if your partner has passed, I don't think there's any right amount of time for you could say if it's a month, a year, 10 years for you to decide when you want to start dating again. It's whenever is right for you. But I know like that was something she was fielding. Like this relationship has been kind of trickled with drama.
Yes.
But Nene said she didn't. She doesn't know why this woman's filing this thing. She said on social media, nobody wants to steal nobody else's problems, honey. And did her usual thing, but
Nene Leakes thing.
Your usual Nene Leakes thing. So that was that. We'll see how that goes. Speaking Speaking of arrests and court cases, do you remember us talking about the Young Thug YSL arrests.
Yes.
That have just continued to get more and more the ridiculous allegations coming out.
Yes.
From the court.
Mm-hmm.
But, we are not the only ones who have kind of been trying to figure out all that's going to be going on.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, the fans are really gunning to get these guys.
Gunning to get Gunna?
They're gunning to get Gunna and them out of jail.
Yeah.
However, one young man, Cortavius Mender, in Georgia, this young man, basically still a baby. He's only 18 years old. He is facing 24 felony charges for threatening to kill the Fulton County Sheriff.
Yeah.
Now, when I saw this headline, I was like, "Wow, this must have been like some Dylan Roof type. Like he's coming to the jail to shoot up the place." But then when I was reading it, it just was talking about the guy was making
terroristic threats.
He was making comments on social media.
Oh, okay.
Now, we can't completely rule out social media threats, as we know the guy from the Texas shooting, he also put it on social media, as well as the Buffalo shooting. Yeah. So it's not something that we shouldn't take those threats take them into account. But I do wonder if he was making comments on Instagram. Does that show? Do you feel like that shows the same intent as if he was writing it on
writing some sort of manifesto or something like that?
Like on his status or something?
Do you know how much shit like is on Twitter, like or Instagram? Just I don't want to necessarily say it's harmless, but like,
yeah, we can't say it's harmless, but is it? Like, I just think about at 18.
I don't know if it'd be elevated to the, condition of threat.
It's like at 18 years old, kids say stupid things.
Yes, they do. All
and
the time.
I could imagine my brother, when he was 18, him and his friends, not saying, like, I can't imagine him saying he was going to kill somebody, but I could imagine him maybe, like, just saying something stupid online.
Yeah. Oh, boy. If you go through my Twitter conversations, I've said a bunch of dumb shit when I was
just stupid things. So it's just like I hope that this young kid gets a very fair shake, and it isn't just being like thrown to the wolves because people are trying to make
hopefully like a slap on the wrist sort of thing of just like, don't ever do this again. Because, he shouldn't have to,
social media training.
Social media stuff. Yeah.
It's like, is it...
My social media training is not using it at all.
Does he even have the capabilities to do these threats? Because there was that boy, I think we talked about last week, there was a school where this kid was like, he was going to shoot the school. And he posted it on Twitter or something, and he went to his house. He didn't even have access to any type of guns.
Mm-hmm.
He all the ammo and all the stuff that he said he had was just him being a stupid kid.
Yeah, probably had a Nerf gun. Or
just nothing.
Pistols.
He was just talking. So it's like, how can we now in these days decide what is or isn't an actual threat?
Yeah,
I think that's something we just have to think about, and kids have to be really mindful. Like when we were teenagers, it was like, don't post pictures of yourself holding a cup, a red Solo cup, or like being in a bikini because you're never going to get a job or something like that.
Yeah.
But now kids can't even, like, the jokes that you would say could get you in trouble.
Yes.
Like I saw there was a prom photo with this young black girl and her date, cute kids, they're having like guns in the photo, and in to me, I thought the caption was like lyrics from a rap song, but apparently there have been allegations on social media that her school like didn't let her go to prom and maybe expelled her and took away her free ride. Like, she had another school take away her scholarship because of the pictures.
Oh.
And it hasn't been confirmed because some people said that it was not happening. But just thinking, like, you now have to...
I don't know what that was. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
You now have to just, like, be mindful of those things. 'Cause if you posting up pictures of you and a gun, that's the new thing. So for us, you couldn't put your body out, and now these days you can't put pictures with guns and or threats.
Yeah.
Figure out how to communicate better online.
Yes, that's the main takeaway.
But also, still fuck the police, abolition or bust.
Now I remember what my other grinding was.
Yes, it's we're gonna be the same. And yes, just want to make sure he's safe and taken care of, and he's given a fair trial. Okay, so there's a few other ways that we can go. Do you want to do good, happy celebrity news, or do you want to go with drama?
Let's do drama.
Drama. It is. Bum, 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 bum. Did you know that Lil Nas X was not nominated for any BET awards?
And that's a goddamn shame.
He wasn't, but Jack Harlow was.
That is a massive amount of shame.
And I cannot, like, I personally don't have any strong feelings about Jack Harlow. I think he's a cute little guy.
He's fine.
I like his voice.
Have you listened to his most recent album?
No,
think it's
maybe
okay.
I've heard a song.
It's like I think I was playing a little bit of it yesterday.
Okay.
He's
One of those guys where, like, if he comes up on a playlist, I'm never generally, like, I think the songs I've heard of him I've liked.
Yeah.
But he's not, like, I'm not trekking for him, you know. I think that he is in that genre of all the white rappers that are trying to be Post Malone and are missing, not Post Malone.
Eminem?
No. The one that died.
Oh, Mac Miller.
Thank you. I was going to call him Macklemore, and I knew it wasn't Macklemore.
No.
But, like, who are trying to be Mac Miller, who was, just extremely talented. And it's so sad that just as he was really growing as an artist, that he unfortunately left us.
Overdose.
But all these new rappers, it's like I just could see that there's a formula. And now the formula could just be that these are white guys who grew up liking hip hop, so they're all kind of have similar sounds and cadences. So for me, it's pretty boring unless you have something that makes you, like, kind of stand out. But that doesn't mean that I don't think that he should be nominated for a BET award. But I don't see how he could be nominated for one and not Lil Nas X. Especially
when his music is all over the place.
It's all over the place.
Like, I think it's on a Pepsi commercial now. Industry Baby. The instrumental of which I'm playing right now. I play the song every night before I go to sleep at 11:30. Well,
you do.
Yes, it's that, and I play Mac Miller. Yeah. But yeah,
well,
I personally think that this is a huge snub, especially to the culture. Lil Nas X has done a lot for LGBT fans and, like, hip hop music fans and stuff. The dude had the #1 country song in the world, and all the little kids were annoying their parents by playing it over and over again.
And with 10,000 different remixes.
Yeah.
But he tweeted, not even. Hold on. Okay, so.
What'd he say? Was it like a thread?
It's a bunch of posts. Somebody tweeted, "What have you put out? And don't use that gay shit as an excuse. Nobody care no more."
Oh, please.
Right? And so
fuck that guy, whoever said that.
Fuck you, Sonny T. Stupid name.
Yeah.
And Lil Nas X responded, I don't know, maybe 3 of the biggest songs of last year and critically acclaimed album. Sonny T, I feel like that should have helped me a bit. Not even that. It doesn't even have to be me nominated. I just feel like black gay people have to fight to be seen in this world.
Yeah.
And even when we make it to the top, motherfuckers try to pretend we're invisible. Thank you, BET Awards, and an outstanding 0 nominations again, black excellence. And I think that this is a conversation that should be had. he at the BET Awards 2 years ago, I believe it was, he kissed his, the backlash that came out from him kissing his dancer on stage. Yeah. And it's like, does the BET Awards want him to come back for that? Because BET, as much as they have like been trying to pretend like they're really accepted,
and
of
progressive
the queerness, it's like, I remember a few years ago.
It's all pageantry. It's all
it's performative.
Fake. Yeah, it's performative. It's fakeness.
Because, oh man, what is their name? BT hired a non-binary host for their show, and their name is, I know who they are, B. Scott. Thank you. Oof. That was gonna piss me off because I literally just like was thinking of them. Yeah. So B. Scott is last year became BT's first trans non-binary host, executive producer for a show they have. And I remember, I feel like it was like 2015 when B. Scott it was a big deal because they were going to be on the red carpet interviewing people. And they came out, before they came out as non-binary trans, they generally dressed in a more effeminate way. And I guess whatever outfit they had on was a little too much for them. Yeah. It wasn't even like Billy Porter type of outfit. But like they reduced their time on the red carpet, and they ended up not doing what they were planned to do, and it was like a whole big thing. So now that they're pretending, but it's like, damn, it's Pride Month.
Yeah, and it's Pride Month.
It's Pride Month. Like you couldn't just. I don't know. It's weird.
Even if he wasn't going to pick up any of the awards, he should have at least been nominated.
Because Drake, Future, and Kanye are for the best male hip-hop artists. They're all there. And to me, personally,
and let's be real. Drake, who? Drake, Future, and Kanye?
No, it's Drake, Future. Yeah, Drake, Future, and Kanye. Some other ones.
They're not gonna show up. They're not showing up to the fucking BET Awards.
Even if they win something, they're not showing up. Maybe Kanye, just because he likes to be weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just it's weird. But TMZ went. How they love to accost people on the street.
Yes, they do.
And they saw Queen Latifah, who she was promoting her new movie Hustle at Jimmy Kimmel Live, and so they asked her about it, and she said that Lil Nas X is amazing, but that she couldn't speak to whether or not his sexuality caused the snub.
Does the umlaut need to be over Chloe and Haley? Like,
does the
umlaut need to be over the O and Chloe from Chloe and Haley?
I don't think it has to, but I think it usually is on Chloe. I usually see it on the E.
Because it's an O. Like, it's an O sound. Like, is the umlaut the two dots, or is the umlaut the E in Beyonce? What's an umlaut?
I think
I have a communications degree, and I'm revealing my ignorance right now on air.
I think it's a U.
Okay.
It's the U with the dot, because I think umlaut. When I think of umlaut, I think of Uber. Yeah. It's the U with the two dots, and then the tilde is what I believe you're thinking of. Is the tilde is over the E. But
no, it's an umlaut. It's an umlaut.
Umlauts are dots. There's
two dots.
There's dots on top of Chloe's name.
There's dots over the O.
I know that like a French Chloe.
Because right now I'm looking up at the BET official nominees. And Chloe and Haley are nominated for Best Group, and they have the umlaut over.
I did not know that. I know that the Chloe.
They're not winning against Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. Sorry.
God.
Silk Sonic.
I mean, yay for them, but we don't need any more.
Yo.
We don't need any more. We look great for them. I love the music, but we don't need any more.
I'ma leave the door open.
Okay, more music. Our Christmas queen, Mariah Carey,
oh yeah,
is facing a lawsuit Because this person is saying that she stole his music for All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Right.
And I'm not sure if I don't know. You have All I Want for Christmas Is You, and you have the one that she's talking about, right?
Yeah.
So the person's name is Andy Stone. He said he co-wrote a song called All I Want for Christmas Is You a few years before she dropped her song. He recorded his in 1989 in
you
Nashville.
can tell by the music video that this is old. Like, I looked at this music video. There's a lot going on.
So much.
In such a relatively small amount of time.
He did his in 89. She did hers in 19. He got extended. He said he got extensive airplay and it was on the Billboard charts during the 1993 Christmas season. And Mariah's version came out in 1994 with a music video. And of course, every single year she makes more and more money.
Yeah.
For this song, because it's going to be number one.
It assaults the ears every Christmas.
And I love it.
Yeah, I know. You were playing it the other day, and I was just like, why? Like,
it's a good song.
It's a good Christmas song.
But it feels
We're
good
smack
all
dab in the
year
middle of
round.
summer.
Sometimes you need to just have that Christmas joy to pull you back up out of the doldrums.
I don't see you playing All I Want for Christmas Is My Two Front Teeth.
That's not as good as All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Fair enough.
But he's seeking $20 million in damages. So I want you to play a few, however much we can get away with, play of his, but I think it's like...
Yeah, this is it right here.
See if you can scrub a little forward to get to the chorus. Because that's the part...
Hold on.
That, like, they're going to be... This sounds like a generic.
This guy in the music video has his hair all the way up, and he has a ponytail.
It's a ridiculous outfits.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
But I don't personally.
All I want for Christmas is you.
I mean, that's a popular phrase. I don't see it as being, I think the All I Want for Christmas starts at 1:30.
1:30?
Yeah.
All I want for Christmas is you.
That sounds like, is that the only...
I think that's really the crux of this, because the lyrics are different entirely. The melody, the tempo, everything is different. With the only exception being All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yeah. I don't know. If someone could, maybe they'll layer the songs over, take out all the back end and like see what happens. And then it'll be like, okay.
The melody is even more upbeat. Where like
the melody for this one's way more upbeat.
The other one is like mad somber.
It sounds like a Christmas song from like the 60s.
Yeah.
To me, it's a Nashville song. It sounds very Nashville. Like, Dolly Parton would have been singing it at the Grand Ole Opry. But decades earlier. It doesn't sound modern and fresh and new like Mariah's. So I don't know.
Oh my God, this music video is driving me crazy.
They'll figure it out. But $20 million is a lot. But
yes, it is.
$20 million for Mariah is if somebody says you owe them $20.
Yeah, that's shit money. Like that's literally she could like poop that money out and it wouldn't, and then go about her day.
Nick Cannon was doing an interview recently with what's that idiot's name?
Vlad?
No, Joe Budden. And he was saying something about Mariah. It takes for her to leave the house. It's like 170 or 150K or something like that. So it's like, if you think of that, she could just leave in the house. Is that cost that much for her? She would be like, whatever, take your chump change and get out of here. Sorry, peasant and plebe. Here you go. Here's my shoe money for the week.
Yeah.
But all these court cases, I just hope Mercury was retrograde, so everything was coming out. But, again, I want everyone to have a just justice in whatever is going on with them. Drake was in Detroit. He was in the D.
Yeah, he was in the D.
And these women saw him at the bar, and they were so excited to see him. But it was very cute because they, when he got over there, they were like, the girl's name is Brittany Kira. And so she was like, oh, what are you drinking? We're about to take a shot. You want to take a shot with us? And, like, he's like, sure. He lets her video. He's making faces in the camera. Very much being Drake.
Yes.
And he was like, sure. She said that initially he had said no because he's heading to the airport for a flight. But he ended up coming back to the bar and taking the offer to get a drink. So it's very cute.
Yeah, Drake looks weird with cornrows.
It just makes me think of Degrassi.
Yeah.
I'm a whiskey type of girl. You need tequila? Okay. I'm a whiskey type. Can I have a shot of Jack, please? And what kind of tequila? Casamigos?
42, please.
Oh, okay.
I got it, though. You can.
I just need Jack whiskey.
Okay, give me a tequila too.
She was taking tequila because she wanted to get in those.
Yeah. You think he paid for it?
Well,
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
That's a little splash.
when
We love us some shots.
shots. That's what shots are.
Come on, Drake. There we
Devil's
go.
playground.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Welcome to the D.
Welcome to the D.
Well,
We should take a shot.
we should.
We'll take one during the break.
Brittany said that she initially ordered a shot of Jack, but that Drake upgraded her to a shot of Johnny Walker. Is that like a better version of Jack?
Yeah, it's a Johnny Walker. I don't know why I did it like that, but yeah, it's a more higher end, I want to say.
Okay.
Whiskey.
And that he also covered the tab.
Oh, look at Drake being a good man.
She said they had small talk, but that she said, for what it's worth, that she has a husband and is not trying to get with Drake. But you know what? This is not.
She would let Drake pound it.
I feel like in these situations, you just want to have a little cute little memory, and this is what people need to remember. When you have these cute interactions, let you have that moment. It's fun.
And then let it go.
Let it go. Like, remember when we were talking about a few weeks ago when I told you about how that guy commented on a post about LeVar Ball or Jay Morant or whatever, and Drake said he was going to support his sons the same way, and the guy was like, your kid plays with ghostwriters, and he friended the man's wife. Yeah, they tried to turn this into a whole like let's take this viral moment and turn it into something it wasn't. And I was just like, you could have. I don't mind. I feel like, listen, we all want to have our come ups. Yes, our comeuppance or whatever, but you can't try to make something out of nothing.
Nothing means nothing.
Make a shirt that says Drake slid in my DMs. And like make $500 and then go away. Because people are especially on Twitter are going to be terrible. Yes. On Instagram, you might be getting nice comments, and Facebook, you get nice comments. On Twitter, it's going to be a trash can. Good news. I'm gonna give you the. Well, no, wait. Okay, I said I was gonna end on good news. Yes. Oh no. Okay. Good news. LeBron James, he is officially a billionaire. On last week, Forbes.
Dramatic reverb.
Did you add a new drop?
Yes, I did. Although I did think that was the anime WoW. So.
On Thursday, Forbes said that he's a billionaire and that his net worth has reached $1 billion, making him the first active NBA player to hit that milestone, which is amazing. He also made a cute little post about his wife and said, "Quick letter to my queen, simply just letting you know that I appreciate you more than this world has to offer. Been my rock, holding the shit down from the very first jump ball. With all the BS that comes into our lives throughout the years and on the daily, you never wavered, fluttered, or allow yourself to simply not be strong for me, us, but more importantly, you. Where would I be without you? I think to myself quite often. The answer usually comes back to not even close to where you would have wanted to be in life. This is my appreciation post to you, my queen, because I'm simply letting you know, you and the world know I ain't shit without you. All I need in this life of sin is me and my girlfriend, aka best friend, aka wife. Love, King."
Oh, you know what? I thought he had more children than he actually has.
How many kids?
He only has 3.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I don't know why I thought he had like 9.
Not Future.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I hope he doesn't have any. I mean, this is the thing. LeBron James has done very well with making sure if anything is happening in his personal
Future
life.
has 7.
Jesus. In his personal life, we don't ever hear about it. We've never heard of any break babies, any extra girlfriends.
Any what babies?
Break babies. You don't remember that time when like everybody was having a break baby? Ludacris, Dwayne Wade. There was several break babies that have happened in Hollywood, in Black Hollywood recently, and he's never had any of them.
Ludacris has 4, and Lil Wayne has 4. I don't know why I be thinking that Lil Wayne has more than
because he's had a girlfriend. He's had a baby with like every girlfriend he's ever had, so it makes sense. But good, congratulations for them. Black love, black wealth.
Yes.
Hope that your families are safe and protected, and
Me too.
you just are feeling good about all of your hard work and success, because I think LeBron James, he has a lot of money, and being a billionaire, I think that, you know, when they say there's no billionaire who like is getting that way because of ethical practices. And I don't know if I necessarily can agree with that with people like LeBron, or like LeBron and Beyonce, right?
Yeah.
They are literally working for all the money that they're getting.
Yes.
They're investing in things. Now, you could say, do we know whether Ivy Park is made in any sweatshops? We cannot say for sure. That would have to be an investigation.
Does LeBron have his own line of shoes?
He has his own line of shoes. So it's like maybe if their clothing are being made in sweatshops, so then yes, that's unethical. But then it's like, is that the same as someone of like Elon Musk, who is profiting, like knows they're profiting off of this labor and are not doing anything back, whereas like LeBron James has created a whole entire school, has been giving back to his community and in his home city, but like around the country. So I feel like I am torn in these instances, because as much as black billionaires are not going to end the capitalistic nightmare that we're in, if there are more people from marginalized backgrounds who get money and are using it to go back into the community and like actively help, I don't know if I feel a way about that.
Right.
You know, I feel like if I was a millionaire, I would definitely, or billionaire, like I could just think about all the stuff that I want to do for the people that live around me. Yeah. So shout out to y'all. Black love, black excellence. You made it.
Yes.
Okay, so we have mess. I'm going to let you pick. Do you want to talk about Monique, or do you want to talk about Jada Pinkett?
Ooh, let's go with Monique first.
Monique, okay. So Monique had a comedy show, that she was doing with D.L. Hughley last week, and it turned sour.
Yes, turned ugly.
Did you watch the video?
Yeah, I watched as much as I could with you.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
So,
It was long.
It was very long.
And
that was the other one with her. That was the aftermath. I'm talking about the one where she's yelling at DL like on stage.
No.
Okay, so basically, she was performing at the Fox Theater in Detroit, and she came on stage and is like yelling about basically like making jokes about how DL didn't want to come out and wanted her to come out before him, and that she was supposed to be the headliner, which means that she comes out last.
yes.
And he didn't want to hear that, or didn't want to, appreciate that, and so he was like, no.
Which is insane because you're both getting paid, right? Like, I imagine, so headliners tend to get paid, like, more.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're getting paid more and then, are told that, like, you're going to go on before, like, I would go on before and then, hey, I'm back on the highway heading home to either my next gig or my house and stuff. It save me the trip and the trouble,
Yeah.
I go back into the green room and just sit down and watch Monique perform and stuff. Like, it's not that big a deal to me. Then again, I guess I'm built differently.
I mean, we don't know exactly what happened. All we know is she said that he wouldn't come. He made her come out, and that like this was a whole dispute because she was supposed to be the headliner. She's calling him all these different names. Some of it I feel like, felt a bit homophobic because she at one point was like, "You're always making fun of these rappers like Young Thug and Lil Peep, but your name is DL, and you know what we used to say that was in the 90s or whatever like that."
Yeah.
So she had like, and then she said some stuff about his wife, and it was mostly like her saying like, "I am a veteran in this business. You're not gonna play me." And then, like, do me wrong, which was her main issue. But then he came out afterwards and was basically saying that y'all didn't come here for hear grievances.
Mm-hmm.
If you had an issue, you need to take that up with whomever. Leave me out of it. And so that happened on the stage. DL also, so this writer, Kenny Williams at Blavity, Kenny Williams Jr., he was actually there at the event, and he was like that when DL came on, he was making some transphobic jokes. And it was like he was just doing that old black man comedy.
Yeah.
And Kenny,
my dad loves D.O.
I mean, I can
like he goes to see him all the time.
I can imagine he's definitely dad's
Love him.
comedian.
Dads love him.
I will say personally, I've never found DL to be like out of the Kings of Comedy. Like
It was always Bernie Mac and then maybe Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah, and I don't mean to sound morbid, but I'm just like, out of the four Kings of Comedy, like, damn.
We had to lose Bernie Mac. So
yeah, because he was the best one, and I feel like personally that Bernie Mac would have evolved his comedy in a way that these guys didn't. Because even when he would say things that could have been seen as problematic, they also were just like really funny.
Yes.
Whereas DL, me personally, I really never found him funny. I didn't like the voices he would do, like similar to Chris Rock. I just felt like it was very forced and not like a natural, just a natural funniness.
Yeah, it was dialed up to 11.
Yes. And so in this situation, like they're going back and forth on social media, posting up receipts, and he said his contract was right. She says her contract was right, but it's like we don't know what to believe because her contract is coming from her husband's agency. His is coming from like an actual media agency. Then he's posting up pictures of Precious and talking about that movie was a biography, not fiction. She did that video that I showed you with her husband. and they had a whole hour-long live, which like was very odd to me. Then she was posting up videos on her page about DL admitting that he didn't believe his daughter, who had been, I guess, sexually assaulted by a friend, trying to call into question his character. And I think it's just like, what I gathered from all this bickering they're doing is that they have, similar to Will Smith and Chris Rock, they have a long-standing beef.
Yeah.
And she addressed some of those things and like saying how he has spoken bad about her in the past, was trying to come for her and her credentials, and other things. So, you know, I feel like Monique.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like Monique, one of my friends, Ashley, on Facebook said that Monique is the Azealia Banks of boomers and Gen Xers. And I honestly, like, I really saw that because, you know, Azealia Banks, she'll go out, do these scorched earth rants. And sometimes these rants are true, you know, and sometimes when she does talk about colorism and racism in Hollywood and how that impacts her career, she is making sense. But a lot of times it feels like you're just attacking people.
Yeah, you're just shouting at clouds.
Exactly. And so if you're just shouting at people, that's not the same as like saying something and having a productive conversation. Yeah. And so like Monique, to me, like outside of, you know, the issues I've had with her respectability politics, it's like, I think that she has said things that were true in the past.
Yes.
When she's talking about her career, why she hasn't gotten bigger and stuff like that.
Why she hasn't gotten a Netflix special.
You know,
because she wasn't getting paid Amy Schumer money and stuff.
And those things that she said, I personally believe that they had merit to them.
Yes, there was truth in there.
I think that now where the thing comes up is like, is there not another way that you could you have not been like, you know what, instead of doing this in this way, let me sit down and talk to them, or afterwards maybe bring up something, because I think in these instances when she just speaks from the heart, she's very much like, I'm gonna say what I want to say and I don't care. And I don't think that's a bad quality to have at times, but I just think that when she does it, it causes the backlash to be on her and not the people that are doing shit to her.
Yes.
Like, this would have been a situation where afterwards saying, listen, this is what happened, I didn't like it. Like, did you talk to the promoter? Because I think that's who you need, the person who booked you.
Who you need to take it up with.
Yeah, like, but also, it's like, if black women are being mistreated and disrespected, can they not just have the agency to say how they feel in the moment without people saying they're being too much or too dramatic? But then it's like layered, because then she was also talking about his wife and his daughters, you know, like, so you were disrespecting those black women in a way and not just focusing on him. Yeah. So it's just a whole pile of muck. And I just don't want to see these old people arguing on Instagram any longer.
In social media, yeah. None of that.
I don't want to see any more FaceTime, Facebook Live videos, having any more conversations, because it's honestly...
Sitting there with daddy.
Oh, God, please. Every time she calls him daddy...
It makes me squirm in my seat.
It's so bad.
It's
you know
so
what?
Weird.
He gives me the energy that I got like when you would see Wendy Williams' husband, you know, like, and there hasn't been anything obviously super public with their relationship, but it just makes me feel like the things that she's had issues with work-wise, he seems to always be connected to it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that, you know, this is her husband, father of her children, so they, you know, I guess he's her manager as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But it's like,
now it makes sense.
Maybe what were his credentials before he became your manager?
Right.
Because you might need to say, we need to get you a co-manager
Mm-hmm.
that's going to work out with things. And yes, have our family's best interest at heart, but also know how to work in this field.
Yeah.
Because she's been working like for so long,
Yes, she
30
has.
plus years.
Yes, she has.
And it's like, I would hate for now that she's just getting back in on her footing.
Mm-hmm.
She's in the Lee Daniels. They got back together and hugged it out.
Yeah.
50 Cent put her in BMF. She's building back up her career, where it should definitely be. But I don't want these things to harm her because it's like, yeah, Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, they can say the worst, stupidest, fucked up shit and continue to say it constantly.
Yeah.
And are still gonna get new Netflix deals.
Yeah.
You as a black woman, a fat, dark-skinned black woman, saying how you feel and stuff like that.
No, she's not that fat anymore. She's slim now.
But there's nothing.
I mean, she's not slim, but
No, but
like
I'm saying
she's not
fat
as
is, like-
heavy set as she used
But
to
there's
be.
nothing wrong with being fat. Like,
I'm not saying that there's something wrong with being fat.
But
I'm
like
just
in the
saying,
sense of like her, I think that we can say that she calls herself a fat black woman.
okay.
We can say that she's a fat black woman, and just in the sense of like we know how Hollywood treats fat,
Yes.
dark-skinned black women.
Yes,
If
yes.
and if you could be a size 10 in Hollywood
And
you
still
were
be considered
called a
fat.
fat black woman,
Yeah.
like if you were not Twiggy, like it's just you're not going to be given the same opportunities, unfortunately. So we know that she's fought really hard to get where she is right now, and I don't want those things to be taken away from her
Yes.
because she deserves it. She deserves all these things. She's very talented. She's really funny. And DL, personally, don't feel like he should be the one who's like able to talk about or dictate what's going on in her career. But I also recognize that like he's a man who has the backing of these other men, and there's really not much you can do, you know, in those instances.
Yes.
Okay, you ready to talk about Jada?
Yes. Let's get this.
So the slap heard around the world. Do you all remember that?
Still talking.
Still talking about this. When did the Oscars happen? Wasn't it like?
God, it feels like forever ago.
Was it in April? March?
It was either March or April.
It was around
It wasn't
then.
last month.
No, it was. It's been several months at this point.
Yes.
Like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
So Jada had a red table talk, and she
Which we called. We knew
we
that
did.
was
We
gonna
did.
happen
from the
and
moment
she's
he
gonna
walked
ask
up there.
for fucking healing and
She did. That was yes. She asked for healing, but she came on there, and I would say honestly, she didn't say too much necessarily about the slap. The episode was geared towards alopecia.
Yes.
And at the opening of the episode, she said, basically says, "My dearest hope is that these two intelligent, capable men have an opportunity to heal, talk this out, and reconcile."
Right.
And then the rest of it was, basically talking about the alopecia and people sharing their stories. Now, Vivica Fox, who played with Jada Pinkett in Set It Off.
Set it off. Wait, didn't they also do Girls Trip together, or was Vivica Fox not in that? That was Queen Latifah,
Tiffany Haddish.
Jada Pinkett, and
Who was the fourth woman?
Regina King.
I think it was Regina King.
Okay, let me see.
So Vivica Fox is guest hosting, I believe this was the Wendy show. And
Regina Hall.
Hall, yes.
Yeah.
So Vivica said that Jada's comments about bridging the gap made her cry, but she felt that Jada had no accountability and it was being self-righteous in her response. She said, "I felt to be a good partner, there was no accountability." Will Smith was defending her honor. That was the reason he walked on stage and slapped, because he felt like his wife had been offended. So for me, there was no accountability as a partner. Also, let's not forget that Chris Rock was assaulted. We cannot forget that.
Yeah.
For basically telling a joke that I really felt wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
This night was a night of African American and diversity for brown and black people that will now forever be scarred.
Yes.
Well, what did you think about that response?
It felt soft. It felt like a softball response. It didn't really have any. Obviously, we knew that she was going to ask for healing, but like Vivica said, there doesn't seem to be any sort of accountability or any real insight as to like how she processed it. You know, like it just fell a little flat for me.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Why? And I guess for me, she's not the one that did the slapping.
Yeah.
She also did not instruct Will Smith to take his grown ass up there and slap him. So I'm not really sure, like, what accountability am I supposed to have over a grown ass person that I didn't tell? She didn't look at.
Maybe like give like some more insight as far as like, hey, we talked about this. This is where we came from. This is where we are now. This is she talked more about fucking August than she did about this.
But I think that, the August situation was her situation to talk about.
Yeah.
If this situation is for Chris and Will to come on the table talk with Jada and have their little,
powwow.
Yes, conversation together and talk it out.
Yeah.
This is not for Jada to give what she and her husband did. Like, I think she said that she and Will are going to do the same thing they've done for the last 20-something years. Okay, she says, now about Oscar night, my deepest hope is that these two intelligent, capable men have the opportunity to heal, talk about this, and reconcile the state of the world. The state of the world today, we need them both. And we all actually need one another more than ever. Until then, Will and I are continuing to do what we've done for the last 28 years, and that's figuring out this thing called life together. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
So I don't know what else she was supposed to say. I think that he needs to be there. Even if Chris Rock is not there, he at least needs to be there to say, this is why I did it. Mm-hmm. This is what happened and what we did afterwards and how I'm seeking help, etc. But I feel like women are constantly made your child does something. Why wasn't the mom? What was the mom not doing? Why didn't the mom teach him not to do that? Mm-hmm. Your husband does something. Why didn't he know better? What are you gonna have to say on his behalf? Like, why do we have to hold on to this other person's issue that literally has, not to say it has nothing to do with her, because obviously, like, that's his wife, but she didn't tell him to do that. And even when people are like, oh, she looked at him, she gave him a side eye. Me giving you a side eye mean I'm annoyed.
Doesn't translate to get your ass up on that stage and slap the fuck out of Chris.
So, like, I think that if she wants to have a conversation about what happened that night, I think she will wait until they both decide to have the conversation. Until then, she gave a very great platform to people with alopecia to talk about their experiences, because I think that there are so many things about alopecia that you wouldn't know, and I don't think that Vivica Fox saying, like, well, this was a joke that I really felt wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad to you. Yeah. And I feel like people they always want to say, bless you, that something, it wasn't that bad. But you have to remember, it wasn't that bad to you. Right. Even myself, there are plenty of times I think people are overreacting about things. Mm-hmm. But it's still, for me, it's not a big deal. But to you, it is. If there's something that hurts my feelings, then it hurt my feelings. You can't tell me, oh, well, your feelings can't be hurt about that, because you and I are two different people, and that's just that. Mm-hmm. So I think I'll be very excited to see this Red Table Talk with Chris Rock and Will Smith, because it'll probably get the best.
You think they're gonna get them on together?
I hope so. Maybe even if it's like a video call.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because he probably has a restraining order against Will Smith.
But I want to see it. Because it's like, people just need to be able to talk shit out.
Yes.
And
on that we can agree.
And just I think talk it out.
Talk it out. Talk it.
I think that
What's that? Talk it out.
she said a very diplomatic response that she wasn't going to give any more to them than they have not paid for, aka given her streams for her show. But she also figured she could use her platform for something that was going to like do good.
Yes.
I
know somebody with alopecia.
Oh, same. So do I.
Yeah. So.
Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan may have broken up. Unfortunately.
This one hurts.
You know, I wanted that black love to make it down the altar. But she's 25, he's 35, so it doesn't really, that doesn't surprise me. Like, if he wanted to get married and she's like, yeah, sir, first of all, do you see how fine I am? I don't need to rush into getting married.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's a year, you never know, they could get back together. They live very crazy lives. And you don't always have, maybe the timing may have just been off.
Yes, sometimes it's just about timing, you know.
Exactly.
I say it's play "Break Up" by Mario.
Who?
Mario. It's Mario.
Mario.
It's pronounced Mario.
The one that
from Baltimore.
And you say,
you got what I need.
Is his name really pronounced Mario?
It's Mario, yeah.
I've met this man in person and definitely didn't call him Mario, but
well, that's probably because he takes the pronunciation like not that seriously.
Oh.
So like people call, but it is Mario.
You know what? You learned something new.
I only know this because I used to refer to him as Mario, like the fucking Nintendo mascot. But then I think it was an interview that he was like, yeah, it's Mario. And then if you go back and whenever he says his name in songs, he says Mario.
Okay.
Yeah. He looks ugly.
Who?
Mario.
What?
This photo of him, he looks like something is off.
Does not look ugly.
Something is off with this photo. I don't know what it is, but like it's giving me ugly vibes.
He used to have very, very bushy eyebrows.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
All right. I think we might be.
Yeah.
I feel like we might be at the end.
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Oh, okay. There was just. Maybe I'll move this other one to the mental health section.
Yeah. Because we're going pretty long right now.
The last thing. Oh, Meghan Markle and Prince, the Duchess, and Prince Harry.
Yeah.
Returned to Windsor.
Yes.
For the Queen's 70th Jubilee.
Our power couple. Our power princess.
Power princess. Our Jamaican princess.
Yes.
And this was the first time they'd been back to do anything like kind of like official in 2 years since they left the firm. She looked gorgeous in this. Her outfit was reminding me of like Olivia Pope.
Yes.
Because she was wearing the white hat.
Yes.
She looked gorgeous. Everybody when they were walking down the procession, they got they got their own procession because since technically they're not full-time royals, they could have just had them walking with everybody else, but they were able to get like this full walk down the church, St. Paul's aisle, and everyone was like gawking at them and smiling and looking at how gorgeous she was. Her sister-in-law was hating, obviously. We got to see pictures of her with the babies, and they said that she finally introduced Lilibeth to the Queen because she hadn't seen her since she was pregnant, because they left when Archie was born, or right after Archie was born. Yeah. So.
Oh, Lilibeth.
Yeah, that's a
really nice name.
It's a very cute. I think that's the Queen's nickname.
Yes. Okay. So
from what I learned, yeah. It's very interesting. I would love to see. I think they said that if something were to happen with like one of with Prince William or Charles or whatever, that Harry is going to have to come back and like get back on his royal duties because he's the next in line.
Next in line, yeah.
He has. If that happens, then I think the kids will get their titles because they don't have them right now. Because of all that bullshit.
Yep.
But we're just happy that they're there. Meghan's slaying. I know that Kate is fucking jealous as fuck, which makes me even happier.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. Those are all the things.
All right. If that's everything, that's everything. How about we take a quick break? And we will be back with more of the Black and Snurdy podcast.
BRB.
BRB indeed.
You're listening to the Black and Snurdy podcast.
We now return to the Black and Snurdy podcast.
Some people live for the fortune. Some people live just for the fame. Some people live for the power, yeah. Some people live just to play the game. Some people think that the physical things define what's within. And then there before, and that life's a bore, so full of the superficial. Some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby, if I got you, baby. Some people want diamond rings, some just want everything, but everything means nothing if I ain't got you. Yeah, okay.
I love this video because Method Man's in it.
Yes, yes, of course. Method Man is in the music video. Looking. Oh, you would like Method Man of all of the Wu-Tang. It's either
Have you seen him?
It's either between Method Man or Old Dirty Bastard that you would like.
No.
Yeah,
Not Old Dirty Bastard.
Yeah, you sure? Yeah.
One, because his name
Baby,
is
I like it
ODB.
raw.
His
Yeah.
name is my ODB.
Yeah,
my
ODB.
nickname's Odie. You
Yeah.
can only imagine. I went to a white ass school.
Hey, ODB.
No.
You down with ODB?
I hate
Yeah,
it.
you know me.
So yes, but Method Man has aged like fine fucking wine.
Yes, he has.
Okay.
Yes, he has.
I saw him a few years ago at this concert at the Chelsea Piers. It was him and Method Man, and
You mean him and Redman?
Who did I say?
You said him and Method Man.
Oh, you knew what I was talking
Method
about.
Man and Method Man.
You knew what I was talking about.
Yes, he has a twin.
I wish he did.
I bet.
But yes, gorgeous. Love this. This is one of actually my favorite songs.
Do you watch the Wu-Tang show on Hulu?
I have not watched it. We said we were gonna. I was gonna check it out with you because I've never watched it.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I'd be open to it.
Yeah.
You said it was a little weird.
It is a little weird. Like it's there's sections of it where it's just like, oh, I know that they're making that song. Like they're making Cream, like cash rules everything around me. You know what I mean? Like there are definitely some artistic flares to it. Especially like with the season 2 opener, where like I'm not gonna spoil anything for you, but like there's like this like internal monologue that happens where it's just like he's doing deaf poetry or rapping.
One of the Wu-Tang's, like, they weren't a part of Wu-Tang, but they worked at like their studio. He just got released from jail for a rape I believe it was a rape he didn't commit.
Ooh, okay.
And they're supposed to be giving him a few $1 million, I think, because it was like 23 years in jail.
Yeah.
So Wu-Tang has a very, very interesting story.
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to ask, so you have that tabletop questions, the do-it-yourself therapy.
Yeah.
Do you want me to ask this question before or after we talk about how our mental health was this week?
Let's do it now.
Okay. How do you tell the difference between your intuitions and your fears? Ooh, this is a good one.
I'm not. I might have to play ignorant on this one. I'm not really sure I not understand it, but like the difference between my intuitions and my fears. My fears sort of manifest as like real world experience is the reason why I fear those things. My intuition is just my like I've okay. Perfect example. I'm afraid of roller coasters, and I will never get on a roller coaster ever again. I've tried to get on a roller coaster. Oh shoot, we didn't take the shot.
We're gonna take them in a second.
Yeah, okay, my bad. I've tried getting on coasters in the past. I had bad experiences. I'll never do that. Whereas like if I'm looking to figure out what my next move is career-wise, that is more of like an intuition of just like realizing that my career might be a little bit limited based on the lack of skill sets that I'm learning at my current job, which hopefully that will be changing soon. I can't get into that, but like hopefully that will change like in a relative near future. I think for me, my fears stem from real world, like past experiences, whereas like my intuition is sort of like informed based off of like a feeling or just like processing whatever the situation is, and just really coming, like making moves based on that intuition itself.
That makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What about you?
I would say that the way that I think about it is my intuition is what I feel like in my stomach.
Yes.
And my fears are what I feel in my head.
I don't know why I thought you were about to say something else, but anyhow,
something else.
Yeah.
But it's like I think that especially having anxiety, and my glorious ADHD superpower of overthinking and catastrophizing, I deal with fear a lot.
Yes.
And that's something that I'm constantly trying to figure out. Like, am I afraid of this thing, this person, this situation, because I'm actually are these actual red flags or actual issues, or is it more so my fear of what that could be? And like you said, like my fears, a lot of them do come from real world experiences, but I know that there's also another part that I don't have any control over that's causing me to put fear in things, which is not, I feel like, I'm always trying to figure out which that is, because fear can make you do things that are not in your best interest, whether that is either, for me, like that could be being avoidant about saying or doing something, or like of leaving situations and stopping things just because I'm like, this is scary and I don't know how I'm going to deal with it, if I have the wherewithal to deal with it. And I don't want that. I want to listen to my intuition.
Yes.
Because I feel like sometimes my intuition will be saying, no, keep going. It's weird, but it's fine. And I'll have to, like, my fear will win out. Because I just have more experience with the fear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if I'm going to try to tell the difference between that, I try to go with what I'm feeling in my gut.
Yes.
Is my intuition, but the things that I'm coming up with in my head is the fear. And I saw something online recently that was like, when you are about to do something, that thought of like, what if is the anxiety speaking. Yeah. And I was like, because I think that's something that I honestly really hate, because those what ifs are what cause me to not be present in life. Like, yes. I'll be in a situation doing something and I could be with someone, I'm having fun, and in my mind I'm thinking, what if, like, all these things about, something I said or did, or what could be said or done, like, in the future, and it just takes me away from enjoying the moment that I'm in, and etc. So that was a very good question.
Yes, it was.
High five.
High five.
Tabletop.
Yes. As far as, of course, that is an excellent segue into. I'm not quite sure which one it is. I'm gonna let me see. It is
Not Baby Merchant.
this one. All right. Shall we take a shot to discussing our mental health journey as we gear up to keep ourselves accountable, and we watch each other's back and talk about how we're feeling.
Yes. Oh,
Oof.
Jesus.
As I get older, I think maybe I shouldn't be taking shots.
You should know. No one needs to ever take a shot.
Yeah.
They are the worst.
Yes, they are. And yet here we are doing them. If it's cool, I'll go first.
Yes, please.
I recognize that I probably am getting into my blue period. It always comes after like a really nice day. And yesterday was a really, really good one. Like, we went to the beach, saw a lot of my friends. We spent time getting barbecue and swimming and playing games. Ridiculous games.
Ridiculous games.
Yes, ridiculous games. We had a lot of fun, but I noticed that like every time like a really good day happens, like where I'm gleaming and I'm happy and I'm at my most like euphoric, there's always that come down the next day, and it always brings me back into a reality where like I feel either unsatisfied or like when is the next time I'm gonna reach the heights of that day ever again. Like it's not like me wallowing thinking like, oh, I'll never have another day like that, because like I will. Like we're gonna go back to the beach. This is gonna be a good summer. We're gonna do stuff. We're gonna have fun, right? Yes. But for me, like it's just about processing how I am feeling at that moment in time, and really wrapping my head around the concept that there will be other days. There will be like. And me realizing that I need to not learn, but like I need to utilize the sort of appreciation method, where I look around and I say to myself, this is what you have, this is where you are, you're in a good place financially, you're in a good place mentally, maybe not mentally, but like you're in a good place, like you're not homeless, you're not without a job, or you're not suffering. Yeah. Like there's a lot of good going on in your world. There are life
stressors that you're not having to worry about.
Yes. I'm not worried about when the next meal is coming from, or living paycheck to paycheck. Like I have a nice little savings and everything, But I'm taking my medication, and I don't think I did that today, but even still, I'm not happy in my body. Like I have to work out, and I for all of the things that that are on my mind, all of the thoughts that are on my mind, there are solutions for. I'm not happy with my body. I have exercise equipment that I can use, and starting, I've already had a cleanse, which I gained 4 pounds. That's neither nor there. I don't know about that. But like, even though I'm overweight, there are things that I can do to get that down. Not really satisfied with my job, but like looking on the bright side, like my job allows me some creature comforts that a lot of jobs probably wouldn't. I can always, take a look at what the market is doing and seeing, put myself out there if I wanted to. I got rejected relatively recently, not too long ago, but I can,
learn from those experiences.
I can learn from those experiences. And so everything is not all doom and gloom, but right now I just have to process my feelings so that I don't wallow in this blue period for an extended period of time.
Do you want me to bring out your Hulk so that you can see it and look at it? Smash the blues.
Smash through the blues. Yes, this is probably the perfect time to do that. You know what's funny? Like the minute that you said bring out your Hulk, like I was just like, oh, I could also go for some pork rinds right now.
I know,
But that
if
would be terrible
if you
on mic
went
to
for the
eat.
Hulk, they would be right there.
They would be right there, yeah, and probably maybe a message to Maurice. Hey, Maurice, no more pork rinds, okay? No more big ass tubes full of pork rinds. Like it's a comfortable snack, but you're gonna have to do without them for some time. And the Pop-Tarts are gonna need to go away for a little bit.
You know, like popcorn, that's a healthy snack.
Popcorn is healthy.
You can get those the tubs. You just like eat a
right,
few.
but Pop-Tarts, no.
No, because it's very sweet.
Yes. Kettle corn's fine, right?
I think you could probably find a good organic kettle corn.
Yeah.
That you could have. You know.
How about you? How are you doing during this time period?
I will say.
Uh-oh. You're not supposed to say that you're fine.
I am not going to say that I'm fine. I'm not going to say
the F word.
That word. So last session I had went very well with my therapist, and we were kind of talking about things that I feel like when I'm talking to my therapist about like trauma or stressors that I have from like my childhood, I don't honestly think about like the kind of normal stressors that I had of like, you know, being a child of divorce. Yeah. And you know, having parents with particular personalities.
Yes.
That can sometimes be like difficult to navigate. And I was telling her that like it's not that. I feel like for me, like I could definitely say up until like 13 years old, I feel like I had a great childhood. There were things that I feel like were definitely stressful for me, specifically like with like my parents' divorce.
Yes.
Even though they divorced when I was really young, like I was like they separated when I was 3. They divorced officially a month before my 7th birthday.
Yeah.
So I think like I was mostly navigating the feelings around that, feelings about getting like, you know, a new stepmom, like having like those sort of having like a new sibling and things like that. Like that was what I was navigating, and then like the regular like stuff with your, you know, siblings or your parents. And I'm only recently realizing how some of those things impacted me I feel like just as much as the things that were happening to me like in high school or like in college that were traumatic. And so we were just really talking about that and just like how those things impact even just like the basics of me being comfortable to speak up and say things to people that are uncomfortable for me, that I personally find uncomfortable to say, and the difficulties around that, and just like why certain things are really triggering for me, i.e. like, you know, how I say I'm very sensitive.
Yes.
Because of being made fun of. And I realized like, you know, I would say like in my household, it was like we are sarcastic and playful and all those things. But I realized like growing up, people saying things to me sometimes would feel like bullying.
Yes.
In a way, because it's like I was always the like odd man out.
Or the butt of the joke or something.
Yeah. And I was telling my therapist, like, I don't feel like my parents or my siblings or whatever were trying to be malicious or anything. I'm just sensitive, and I don't know if that's just my general personality, if it's my birth chart, if it's the ADHD, because I know that like there with ADHD, like there are so many studies that talk about how like by the time you finish grade school, the amount of criticisms you get as a student, just being a kid with ADHD compared to non-ADHD having students is a lot more. So it's like even things like that, like thinking like, damn, like I'm at school and people are telling me that I'm weird and that I'm doing things weird. I'm at home and people are telling me I'm doing things weird. So I recognize now, like, I'm very much sensitive to people making fun of me.
Yes.
Because I don't make fun of people because I don't want anyone to feel bad.
Right.
But like having to unpack those sort of situations, I think is something that I'm going to have to do. And just like, because I recognize that there are things that I want that like are going to force me, or I need to figure out how to force myself how to just like speak up and say with what I want to say, regardless of what the fear I have of the other person's response.
Yes.
And before, like, one of my goals with her was doing that with like people in authority. But I realized it's not just people in authority. Like, even in any of my regular interpersonal relationships, especially like the closer the person is to me, the more difficult it is for me to say things, which like we've talked about before. And I know like that's something that I would like to be courageous about.
Yes.
Because sometimes the uncomfortableness of speaking up
Yes.
and saying how you feel, like, you know, even though for me it just, because of the way sometimes I feel like people would respond to me as a kid when I would say things, like I think those things just trigger me. It feels like when I'm talking to people and I say something and there's like going to be possibly like a rejection of what I'm saying in any way, it just feels physically painful. And I don't think that that's something that most people, unless they've felt that before, understand. So they'll be like, you know, they don't understand how me, a very like outspoken, bubbly person, would have any issue saying anything to someone.
Yeah, when it's the exact opposite. It's like it's the hard. You have hardships when it comes to being that way. When it comes to like people that you have a closer dynamic with.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to be like all out there, you know, like sunshine and flowers for like the general public. But when it comes to like people that you've known for years and you know, like you don't know how they are going to react to whatever message or whatever announcement you're about to like level to them. Like that, I could see how that could be terrifying.
Yeah. And I just want to, like, I feel like as a kid, sometimes it was very stressful because I felt like there were just a lot of like stressful conversations that I was a part of or privy to or whatever. And I would like to live a life of ease. And I recognize that my desire to live a life of ease is sometimes more so avoidant.
Yes.
Like I'm being, if I'm not a part of like if I'm in interpersonal relationships,
Yes.
whether they are familial, friendly, romantic,
Yes.
if you take yourself out of being like present in those and like you don't talk about anything, it can make those relationships very simple and easy. Because you just like allegedly, it's kind of like you're just going on and getting on and nobody has to say anything. But at least for me, that ends up causing more issues in the relationship because then I'm holding on to all these unsaid things that I want to say, and that is then building a building a wall between me and the other person, and they don't even know that's happening.
Yeah, like it's completely internal for you.
Exactly. And so then that's like, because I know that is not like a healthy thing, like I will try to figure out a way to like distance myself from that like relationship or person or whatever, because I know that the feelings of resentment or anger that I have are not them, it's me.
Yes.
And because I'm like, well, it's been 3 months and I never said any of these things.
You're burn. Sorry. My bad. Sorry. Sorry.
And so-
I'm not trying to derail you.
No, it's like if I don't say it, after the longer you go without saying it, like the harder it is for me at least. And it's like for instance, if I'm dating someone, if I first start dating them, I can say however, like, I didn't like that. You did that, I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. But the more that I like them, then it's more difficult for me to say stuff, because I'm like, well, if I say this thing, then the relationship could like dissolve and we won't be dating anymore. Mm-hmm. We're never going to progress to like being in a relationship. And then we're just like, that's it. So then if I'm bottling it all up, but that doesn't help either.
It really doesn't, because then you grow resentment, and then when you do finally like bring it up, it's like months later.
Yeah, no, I won't bring it up.
Which is not good. Sorry, it just triggered me to.
Well, when people do that,
some old stuff.
When people like for me, like I won't. Instead of bringing it up, I will just like
bury it deep down.
No, I will just be like, all right, this was cool.
Oh, you'll just cut ties.
Let's just, because it's at that point I feel like I was the one that cracked up, and I can't have this person.
Okay, you silent.
Like thinking, because I feel like for me, like I will feel so bad that I have in my head a laundry list of things that I want to say or should have said before, and then I can't. So then it's like, well, I don't want someone else to feel like shitty about who they are, because I am good at tallying up all the things that frustrated me about you, but I didn't say it to you. But now I don't want to have to give you a list. So then it's just like, well, I guess I should just exit stage left so that I don't ruin this person's like feelings about themselves because of the issue that I had. And then I can just be like, all right, well, like then we can just be friends and that's it. I don't have to say anything. Because if you don't have to say
anything. Have you done this before?
Yes.
Okay.
Hence why to real world issues
Sorry, this is not funny.
That I have, like I have. Those are things that as I am going into my 33rd year, that like I have to be able to speak up,
yes,
and say things, because you cannot have interpersonal relationships with people that are close and bonded. Like to me, like I want to be super close with my people.
Yeah.
And you cannot be very close
when you're
holding things in and you're not saying things.
What's that song? I'm holding on.
I know what your song you're singing.
Yeah.
But I don't know the name of it.
Damn it. And I sorry. Again, like I just got distracted trying to figure out what that song was. I'm not trying to
it's fine.
Undercut what you're saying.
You have things.
Yeah.
I understand what your brain is not.
Yeah.
Being malicious and throwing me off.
Yeah. Sorry.
But those, like, me and my therapist just did our last check-in, I think January or whatever. So we're doing like a new one now to see like what goals. And I was like, I want that to be the top goal, because I know that there are things that I want for my life, like in my career, in my relationships, like just for me as a person. And I don't want to not be able to get those things because I'm scared. And I think that, like, that question that I asked about the fears, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with having fear. I want to be courageous.
Yes.
Not fearless. Because courageous means, like, I'm doing this thing even though it's scary to me. Regardless of whether or not this comes out or this it ends up in my favor or whatever, but that doesn't matter. Just the fact that I'm doing it, I'm saying it regardless is more important than holding it in.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary, and I'm trying to just, be better, do better, so that I can have I'm creating the life that I want. And in order to do that, I have to be able to open my mouth and say the things that I want to say.
Yes. That's an excellent sentiment to leave on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I had one thing I wanted to ask to talk about, but I
Sure.
know we're running long.
Mm-hmm.
This was something that I was going to ask you about in pop culture,
Sure.
but I feel like this is more of a mental health situation.
Sure.
So I don't know. Did I send you this video or show you the video of this woman who is dumping a vase over like a aqueduct or off a bridge?
You did
or
not
whatever?
send me the video, but I peered over your shoulder to see it.
Okay. So basically, this woman put it on TikTok. He cheated, so I threw his mom's ashes in the river.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the video is that she's not just throwing the ashes, but she throws the whole vase in there as well.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I hope to God that this is the prank
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't actually do this, because I think this is extremely disrespectful.
Yes, it is.
I don't think it's putting people's ashes in water is actually like a very that's a very significant thing to do. And without getting all woo woo on you, like, I think that like water is very important. We need it. Water is in us. Like, it's something that's very spiritual and connected. So pouring ashes in water,
I
like,
don't think she was doing this for any
no,
reason.
she wasn't. She was doing
this
it with malice.
with malicious intent.
And honestly, like, I hope that his mother is fucking haunting the shit out of her.
Yeah,
if this is true,
Rolling over. Well, I was about to say rolling over in a grave, but
I hope that she's being haunted.
in the Hudson right now.
But I'm curious about, like, if you feel like this is a mental health question
Okay.
or conversation, because I think there are people who, like, the comments on these were mixed. Like, most people were saying it was fucked up that she did that.
Yeah.
But I think that we have to have a conversation about how we are creating people are fine, like, destroying their partner's property, especially women, because, like, I mean, we never really had any recourse before, so that's all that would happen. And it's like, what do you feel like needs to be done? Or, like, do you feel like this is a mental health issue, like a mania that she was in and just acted out? Or is this like someone just being really fucked up and just doing something that was like malicious on purpose?
I think this is the latter. I think this is a malicious, like, intent on purpose to try to hurt the individual in question. Because, like, that dude's never going to get his mom back.
Yeah.
And he's never going to get his mom's ashes back. Like, that, they're gone. Like, when you have decided that, like, look, cheating is not okay. All right? Like, in any sort of relationship, you have guidelines and boundaries, and you set those early and often. And if somebody steps outside of that, then that's one thing. That's something that needs to be discussed, and, you deal with that, right? When you start bringing in, like, means of hurting someone because they hurt you, like that's when you're going down a negative road.
Would you not say that that's still not like a mental health issue? Like if someone does something to you,
and your first thought is to hurt them in a way that they like hurt you,
like not only is that it's your
Or to
thought, but
convey
you
that they
also
hurt.
do it. Because like I know if someone hurts me, like I have a thought of like I'm gonna fuck you up, right? In whatever way that I might in my head be like, oh yeah, this is gonna get you. But then there's the extra step of like being, no, if this happened, like I'm not gonna do this because this is like XYZ. But if I was possibly in maybe a mental health breakdown, that reasoning portion,
like rage can blind a lot of people. Like hurt feelings have the power to like dictate what our actions are next. Like I've done some things based off of hurt feelings that I can't take back, and I wish I could. You know. Never anything like this, like not dumping out some ashes underneath the fucking highway, you know, like into the fucking river. I lost what I was going to say.
It's fine. Do you think that someone in this situation, should they be arrested and made to go to like the police, or do you think there should be some sort of mental health intervention?
I think that I can meet you halfway and say that I think some sort of mental health intervention might be, because like what state were you in when you decided to dump these ashes, let alone actually pulling the trigger? Because like she had to drive. There was oh yeah, wherever this is, it doesn't look like it wasn't like she's in New York City and she just went to the Brooklyn pier and dumped it. She had to like steal those ashes, travel with them, and then have somebody record her, and then have somebody and so her network but then I'm like, well, why isn't your stable? Why didn't did the whoever is recording this is was this a random person or is this a friend? No, because this is definitely a friend. There's no way. First off, there's no way. Hey, can you take a video of me dumping these ashes out? You know, I feel like if any of my friends told me we're about to go steal my boyfriend's mom's ashes because he cheated on me and I'm about to throw it in the ocean, I'd be like, ma'am, you need a seat. You need to sit down, take a breath, take a beat. But what does that say about how we're teaching people to like I don't know if this, I feel like it's a mental health question mixed with like a societal question of like, how are we teaching people to be in relationship with each other that they feel like this is the only recourse you have? Like there's so many things, like there's a whole non-violent communication like process that you can go through when you're arguing to make sure that you are having like, you know, a fair and equitable and safe and loving argument. Yes. But that's something that also is not really, people are not really getting or hearing that. But I'm like, I feel like she needs that type of intervention if she thinks that this is the right way. Yeah, her circle right now, if this is a friend, is not good. Her circle is terrible. Yeah. But I would say, you know, guys, you should listen to Esther Pearl. She's a oof, that's too loud. She's a relationship therapist. She does a lot of, I forgot the name of the podcast now, it just went out my head. But where do we begin? And she's a couples counselor, and she just talks, like, they talk through relationships. It's very interesting. But she needs that, and she also just needs, like, an interpersonal communications skills person. Read the Modern Love forums on New York Times. I was about to say, like, if that's a book, have you finished it? Fuck you. Okay? Number one, I do have Modern Love. I believe I do have it as a book, and it's a bunch of essays. So shut up. Yeah. Didn't answer my question, though. I noticed that. Okay. I think that is the answer. But that was it. That was all I had for the mental health. Okay. Yeah. So that has been our mental health section. Oh, boy. Now we move into the favorite section of the
chat we have every week.
Every week, something. There's always ooh, burps. There's always something going on that is just messing with us, pissing us off. And so it is time for our grindings.
Bringing it. What? We grind it. We're not grinding anywhere else. We grind it. This safe space for us to share. We grind it. We ain't grinding anywhere else. We grind it.
Okay, so you should go first because I went first last time.
Well, there's one of ours is going to be
One
the
of
same.
us is going to be shared. Yeah.
One of them is going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I want to say that I think I sent you this video from the mom in Denver.
Yes.
The Twitter thing. So basically, I saw this video, and it's this mom who's talking about her ex-husband's girlfriend getting her daughter a dress for her 6th grade graduation. And it pissed me off for a few reasons.
You want me to play it or?
Yeah, I want you to play it. So let me know. Do you have it up?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so play it, and then I'll let you know why I'm so angry.
My daughter just had her 6th grade graduation. And when I got to the school to see her walk her little stage and do her thing, she's wearing some outfit I've never seen. Turns out her stepmother, just the two of them, went shopping last night to buy her a dress for graduation. This is a milestone moment that I wasn't even included in on. How is that showing an ounce of respect? I birthed this child. She's my child. I'm the one that's known her from birth to 6th grade to be celebrating the fact that she's graduating 6th grade. You're the one that bought her a fucking dress. You couldn't even include me in on it. A milestone moment. You really think a stepmother that's been in her life for 6 months, 8 months, however fucking long you've been in her goddamn life, you really think you have the right to go with her dress shopping for her fucking graduation and exclude me? That's respect. That's building a community and a village for children. That's what's best for the fucking children? Really? Get the fuck out of here.
Okay. So first and foremost, why is she in a moving vehicle?
I mean, there were so many issues with this video.
The windows were down.
She posted some other ones. I found a thread on Twitter where she had posted some other follow-ups, like where she was like talking to her kids.
Her name is Anitza Templeton.
Yes. In one video, I don't know if she was talking to one of her older kids. It might have been the one that's in 6th grade. But she was like, you know, if someone doesn't like mommy, does that hurt your feelings? And she's like, yeah. She's like, you know, and if they do something, if they're nice to you, even if they're not nice to me, does that hurt your feelings? And and the kid's like, yeah. And watching it, like, it just felt to me very much, and maybe I was just being triggered from my, you know, being a child of divorce and having to be put between your parents for whatever bullshit reasons they're having.
Yeah.
That this made me feel really annoyed because she says, and in other videos that she has up, she talks about it more. And she says that she didn't buy the girl the dress. I think her father was supposed to get her the dress or whatever. And the stepmom, and now she says stepmom, but apparently the woman has only been dating her husband or ex-husband for like less than a year, so who knows. And that like she's not included in this special moment. But my thing is, you're mad because you're saying your ex-husband was supposed to buy her a dress. He doesn't. The stepmom does, or the girlfriend does.
Okay.
Does the little girl have a dress to wear to graduation, yes or no?
There you go.
Does the little girl have a dress to wear to her graduation? It doesn't matter if your husband, your mom, her auntie, does the girl have a dress to wear?
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yes.
If you felt like I should have been involved, like it's her 6th grade graduation. First of all,
That's not the
it's
biggest
not the milestone.
graduation.
8th grade graduation, if anything.
8th grade.
To me, 8th grade was because
Wait,
you
6th, 7th,
graduate
8th. Yeah, you're right.
kindergarten, And
5th grade,
Sometimes
8th
I didn't
grade,
graduate.
high school.
I didn't graduate 5th grade and because my school Trinity went from it was K to 8th, so we didn't
okay,
have.
so
we had maybe like a moving up
maybe
ceremony
like a
for middle
transition
school,
ceremony.
but we didn't have a graduation. So it was kindergarten, 8th grade, high school.
Yeah.
Now, in any of those situations, if you had a issue in having the dress or not being invited, that's when you say to the stepmom, "Hey, thank you so much for buying my baby this dress. She looks beautiful. The next time you guys do something like that, would you mind if I could come with you? Because I know it was a really sweet, bonding moment. I thought it would be cute for me to come."
Yeah.
Because people were clapping back at her on social, like, "Ma'am, you're doing the most." She says that she did buy her daughter a graduation dress, but that her daughter accidentally left the dress at home when she was dropped off at her dad's house prior to the ceremony. Anita said that instead of contacting her about the dress, her ex-husband's girlfriend took her daughter shopping for a new one. I still personally don't see the issue with that.
Yeah, I don't see where the problem lies.
Did she have a dress?
Yeah, like, you're like, okay, who cares who's spending the money?
Like now you got another dress for her to wear at something else that she could
another
use.
Function.
And so the mom also says that her relationship with her daughter's stepmom is loose, is a tumultuous one, that like she's never met the woman, even though she's invited them to family functions and has sent her gifts. She said that because Lisa has overstepped her place several times, and that her issue was being excluded from a special moment with her daughter. And that allegedly she's had to call.
The special moment is the graduation.
Yes.
That's the most important special moment. Like, it's not, like I bought my son some Keds for his graduation. No, it's the actual graduation moment. My mom was so, like, thrilled to see me graduate from Howard. Like, to see me. So was my dad. Like, they were both there. They were brimming ear to ear. They did not give a They could care less about what I was actually wearing. But I mean, like, I still dressed up nice. So, well, thank you. Like, oh yeah, you've seen the graduation photos. Yeah. What were you wearing?
I was wearing a very cute polka dot dress that I got from Mod Shop. And it was like that old school, like, it had like a little halter. It was polka dotted. And then it was very cute.
Polka dots.
Yes, of course, because I was very into polka dots.
Yes.
For a season, I love polka dots; they're very cute. But I think that, like, even though the mom says that there are some other things that the reasons why she doesn't like the mom, which I can understand, having a blended family is difficult, especially if, to me, it's always the onus is on the partner who is the co-parent to ensure that their partner is having a good relationship with their children and with their other co-parent. But like, it felt very much as if this was a pissing contest.
Yes.
And I my main thing honestly was like, why is this on social media? Like, you're a grown woman. She's in her 30s.
Yeah.
Maybe early 40s, who knows?
Somebody
but grown
needs to
enough
be the mature adult.
that you could have kikied about this and yelled about it with like your girlfriends. Where's your group chat?
Where are your friends? Wasn't that like a thing for this podcast for a really long time?
Where are your friends?
Where are your friends?
Because I can think about when my mom and my dad might have had an issue with something. I can remember the calls to my aunties, like, do you know that this like is saying this or doing this? I don't like it. They would have the conversation. Sometimes it would help to calm the situation down.
Yes.
Sometimes it'd be like, nah, you're right. He's on another one. You need to get whatever out of here. But this just felt to me like very much like you're trying to put your daughter in between, like in a situation where she's playing tug of war. Like, she doesn't care about what y'all's relationship is.
It's unnecessary.
She only cares about she has a beautiful dress to wear to her graduation. And that's it. If the woman is being nice to her, That's all that should matter.
That's a good thing. Like when the step parent is nice to the kid.
Yes.
Yes.
My stepmom has literally, like, I have no complaints. And do you know the amount of shit that my stepmom has, like, bought for us? Like, I remember she bought my sister's prom dress for for high school. And my mom was like, great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Khadijah. Because now I don't have to. She did her, like, it's like they went shopping for it.
Living single?
Like, yeah. They went shopping for it. And, like, of course, my mom was there. Like, I don't think that they ever went shopping for the dress together. Yeah. But, like, all the other things that were happening in the house, it's when they're doing the prom photos and she's getting ready. She's at the house, like, looking very sweet, da-da-da-da. So having that one moment, your child's going to have so many moments.
Yes.
And I feel like sometimes parents have this ownership that they're trying to force on the kids, and nobody wins. You know, like, when my best friend from Howard, if Noah, like, when he's going to high school, if I'm like, oh, I would love to get his outfit for him, that's like, great. This is my part. Someone in the village of taking care of you wants to help out. It doesn't matter if it's the parent, the grandmother, the aunt, or whomever. It's a person who loves your child.
Yes.
And I feel like that is something that a lot of co-parents miss because they're so
wrapped up in their own
in this
drama.
whole thing. So I didn't like that. That pissed me off.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
It was just like, it was gross, and I felt like even if you were upset about this and it was an issue that you wanted to make more of, please do it off social media.
Yeah, keep this off as keep this internal in it.
Because your kid doesn't need to see
keep this in the group chat.
Because now I just know
now
like
the kid has to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we saw your mom on TMZ.
And just thinking of like,
or the Shade Room, wherever.
When your kid and your parents are having issues with each other, even if they live in the same house and you're not divorced, it's stressful. So when it's a whole nother family, you know, it adds a whole layer because you don't want to be disloyal to your mom or your dad. And now you're just kind of put between a rock and a hard place. And I just really don't think that's fair. And I think that people we need to get tests before people can have a kid. Yeah. Like, what is your emotional maturity level? Because that's very, very, outside of financials, your emotional maturity when having a child is so freaking important, because emotional maturity is what's going to keep bullshit things like this from happening.
Yes, agreed. I agree wholeheartedly.
But that was my main thing. I think when we have the one thing that we're going to talk about together.
Yeah. So let me do something else. Star Wars fans, stop being fucking racist. Enough. I'm tired of this gatekeeping bullshit that's happening with the Star Wars fans. Look, all right. Let's just put this out there. The Star Wars trilogy sequel, the 3 movies, not good. They suck. They're not good. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that they're not.
They're terrible. They're not good.
Maybe.
Which ones did you like?
I watched all of them and I liked all of them, but I thought I watched them as, I feel like, separate entities. Not like, because the original ones that came out, what was that, in the 80s, 70s?
Yeah, they were in the 70s, I believe.
Like, when I watched those, it's like, wow, these are great, love it. And then when I watched the newer ones that came out when we were in 8th grade or something.
Those were the prequel sequel. The prequel trilogy.
When I watched the prequels, it's like, one, we're in a totally different time. So I'm like, does the writing stand up? Like, how is this as an actual story and in connection with the original? So I thought they were good. I will say, which is the one with Jar Jar Binks? That's
that's Phantom Menace.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that one now I do not think that I have rewatched that one since I saw it in the movie theaters when we were like 9 or 10. I fucking loved it. But I really loved Jar Jar Binks, even though that's the most hated character. I fucking loved him.
You don't think he's
now as
up a little bit?
No, like as as a older person when I rewatch things about it, I'm like, oh, okay, that could have been kind of problematic. But I think in general, like Luke, because Anakin's our age,
Yes.
So there was that connection with
small
me.
child, yes.
Like I thought that they did a good job with those.
Okay. In hindsight, they're not that bad. Like I know, like during the time period, it was like kind of questionable. Like some of it was melodramatic, some of it was long, boring political stuff. But I have come to
and Samuel L. Jackson's in there.
And Samuel L. Jackson is in there, being a bad motherfucker.
Samuel L. Jackson has secured like all the bags.
He's in all. He's
a Disney. He's
a Disney staple. He's in Pixar as Frozone. He's in Star Wars as Mace Windu, and he's in Marvel as Nick Fury.
All the money.
Yes, he's getting all the money.
Bags are secured.
Bags on
that
bags.
That does not
bags.
grind my gears.
Yes, it does not grind my gears. But what does grind my gears is that like since the trilogy movies, which is The Last Jedi. Oh my God, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and what was the middle one? The middle one is
Attack of the Clones?
No, Attack of the Clones was the prequels.
Oh, you're talking about the original ones?
No, I'm talking about the sequel trilogy with John Boyega.
Oh, okay. You know what? I feel like I'm still missing two movies. Because remember when they were...
When you were initially arguing with me, did you think I was talking about
No, I thought you were talking about the ones when we were little.
No. I wasn't talking about those. I was talking about the sequel trilogies.
Oh.
The most recent movies.
Okay. You want to know what messed me up with the new ones?
What?
Because they had like two Star Wars movies come out kind of back to back. And that... I don't know her name, but there's two white women that were both... One of them is... What's the name of the one that was in John Boyega? What's her character's name?
Rey.
And what's the one that's in that other one that came out? That was like, Rey's not the... There were two Star Wars movies that were coming out at the same time with white women leads. But they were two different movies.
Oh, yeah, that was a Star Wars story, Rogue One.
Yes, and I kept getting so confused because these white women look just alike. Sorry, but they do, and I kept being confused. So I know that for both of those movies,
The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. That's okay.
Yeah.
So The Force Awakens, then it was The Last Jedi, then it was The Rise of Skywalker. That all three of them are terrible for different reasons. But one of the terrible aspects of it, like the movies are what they are. They whether you like them or hate them or you think that they suck on a writing level or a production level or story level, story is all over the place, muddled, and makes sense.
Yeah.
What you don't do as a fucking fan is like go after the fucking actors in the movie, you know?
Yeah.
And especially within the Star Wars prequel, they went after Moses Ingram. They've been going after her for her portrayal as the third sister in the most recent Kenobi sequel. And I'm telling you guys, Star Wars, what the fuck, Star Wars fans, what the fuck is your issue that you can't imagine black people in the Star Wars universe? They have fucking all sorts of races and space aliens and everything like that, but for some reason, like you're going after this actor. They're not going after the character. They're going after the actor. It's one thing to hate a character and they're doing a really good job at making you dislike the character, but you're going after the actual actress who's actually playing it. Ewan McGregor was in a interview recently, and you know, he spoke a little bit about how Moses Ingram started receiving racist messages on social media, and Ewan McGregor felt sick. He says, "I just want to say, as the leading actor in the series, as the executive producer of the series, that we stand with Moses. We love Moses, and if you're sending her bullying messages, you're no Star Wars fan in my mind." And that is absolutely how I feel. Like, it's one like it's one thing for fucking nerds to gatekeep certain media because they feel attached to it, all because they, like for whatever reason. But to send this sort of vitriolic bullshit on social media and start like review bombing the thing on Rotten Tomatoes, it's crazy and it's unnecessary and it's bad faith fandom. It's a bad faith fandom when you do that. Like it's just a fucking series. It's just entertainment. It's just content. There's no need to go at. She's just doing her job. She's just portraying a character. It's not that big a deal. Like, stop being so fucking butthurt over the fact that this beautiful black woman,
she's gorgeous,
is portraying a role and doing a hell of a job. I watched the first 3 episodes and they're amazing. They add so much lore and context to the story. The story is well told. Like, fucking go somewhere and chill the fuck out, Star Wars fans. Like, I'm sick of this bullshit. Yeah, I did it to the Asian girl and
the one that was playing
Kelly Marie Tran, I think her name is. Yeah, they did it to her. They bullied her so badly that they downplayed her part in the Rise of Skywalker. Like, she's like a blink and you'll miss it. Like, hey, like I can't go on this adventure anymore because white Star Wars dudes don't like me. It's fucking ridiculous and it needs to stop. Knock it off. It's just fucking a show. It's just TV. It's just movies. It's just a franchise. Like, you could have, it's one thing to be critical, it's one thing to give critique on aspects that you don't like, but it's another thing entirely when you're being racist and attacking actors. So fucking knock it off.
Yeah, and they did this to John Boyega when he.
And they did it to John Boyega.
I'm glad that because I'm glad you said this one because I had this on lineup for one of my grinds as well. But they did to him. I'm glad that Star Wars and the Disney is like taking more of a stance than they did with John Boyega. Because remember, he left. He like cursed them out. Like, where are you? Yeah. I remember when it was happening to him. But I saw the Star Wars tweeted out, "We are proud to welcome Moses Ingram to the Star Wars family and excited for Reva's story to unfold. Yeah. If anyone intends to make her feel in any way unwelcome, we only have one thing to say: we resist." Yes. And there are more than 20 million sentient species in the Star Wars galaxy. Don't choose to be racist. Excuse me. And I feel like the nerds, specifically white male nerds, are constantly doing this, whether it's because a person of color, if it's a woman in a role that they feel like should have been a man or has a bigger role, they are always doing this. When Hermione was in the stage play for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, when that was announced, it was going to be a black woman. There was such a huge, why is this black woman in the play? That's not who it was. Hermione's white. When you read, however, if you read the books in Harry Potter,
she's described as like black.
Well, the thing is, she's described,
or she could be interpreted as black,
with like she has very curly hair. It's frizzy. She's like, they call her like olive skin. There's not one way that she is. She could have been anything. Yes. But the fact that they were so adamant she can't be black, it's like, what? Rue.
Yeah.
Black in the book. They had Hunger Games fans, so many issues with Rue. Anytime, there's always someone who's in their mom's basement, who's tweeting out this bullshit.
They did it with
comments.
Fucking Idris Elba when he was like Heimdall in Marvel. Yes. Like, it's just like,
these are
what
fantasy.
What are you talking about? Like, first off, that's not even a character that you like care about. So shut the fuck up. And second of all, let these actors play these roles.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, whether they're good in the role or not, it's one thing, but don't fucking dismiss them and be racist because of the color of their skin. That's fucking, and it's all fiction. All of this is just fiction. It's stories that people, it's not like, you know, like it's annoying and I hate it. Ugh.
And that's all that happens constantly.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I want people to do better and be better.
Yes.
Because if you can't just enjoy your fandom without making these stupid comments, you shouldn't be. Don't be a hater.
Don't be a hater.
That's it. If you can't take anything else from this, don't be a hater.
Don't be a hater. And speaking of hating, now it's wait, is this what I think it is? It's been a long time since I've heard this song. So, anyhow, is this actually the fucking song? I feel like it's different.
I don't know. I don't know what song you're trying to.
Okay, hold on.
To do.
Hold on. Let me see if this is it.
It sounds like the same song.
Yeah, I guess it's the same thing. Fuck the Police by NWA.
Yes.
Straight out of Compton. Boy oh boy. Boy oh fucking boy. Do you want to take the lead on this one? We were starting our beach day.
It was a lovely day.
It was a lovely, beautiful day. Me, Odie, our friend Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, Sam. Shout out to Sam. We're heading to the Rockaways, getting everything set up for the day. Come out of the train. All you can hear is fucking screaming. And when we finally get visuals on where the sources of the screaming is, like, it's like, get off me, stop, I'm pregnant, and all this other stuff. It's a swath of fucking cops swarming this black teenager.
Like four cops.
Four fucking cops. Like, swarming her, manhandling her, like, just putting all this fucking pressure on her and everything like that. It was a fucking sight to see.
Yeah.
People fucking recording it, like, one woman, like, was, like, trying to get to the bottom of this, like, stop manhandling her and everything like that. We're sitting there watching it, like, it's, and when we find out what was the reason for all of this, jump the turnstile, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
and the young girl, she looked like she was between like 16, 17, like a little stick figure of a girl. If she had done something that was like warranting police activity, they could have easily, 2 police officers max would have needed to like question her, give her whatever citation, and move forward.
Yes.
But the fact that they were throwing her around, like, we heard her, like, they like slammed her against the wall, are telling her to calm down, and she's like, I told you all I didn't have money for the train, and I went through the door, and I asked you to open it for me. And like, because when they took her from the train, she was on the platform. Yeah. And they took her all the way down and are like, you know, just manhandling her and throwing her around. And it was just so, it was such a reminder of this dystopian society that we are currently living in.
Yes.
And it was so difficult for me to like sit there and watch and know that, like, it's not to say that you can't, there's nothing that you could do, but your options are pretty limited. All it is you can get the officer's name and their badge numbers or whatever. You could try to record. You could try to stand there and hope that, like, this person is not really harmed. Mm-hmm. But, like, for me, like, it just was so, it was so triggering for me.
Yeah.
And I just was thinking about, like, this is we went around the same time that we were, like, just 2 years ago protesting the police.
Yes.
And just, like, I feel like all of the stress and anger and sadness that I had during that time just, like, came right back up for me, which is why I was like, I need a moment, because I felt like leaving from the train like, I was trying to not, like, cry because I was so angry at the fact that I couldn't help this young girl.
Yeah.
And knowing that she's going, after she leaves this train station, there's nothing that you can do for her. Yeah. Even in the train station, there's nothing that you could do because you don't have any real power. If they wanted to arrest her, arrest everyone looking, harm everyone looking, what were you going to do? They're the police. And if the police say this happened, people are going to believe them first. So it just was really stressful. It was a very sad situation. And it just reminds me why I hate being in this fucking trash bag ass country, that you can't just go to the beach and enjoy yourself because you have to deal with things like that.
Yeah. It's fucked up on a bunch of levels. And like now because like it triggered me as well. Like I was accosted by fucking cops because I had an open container, right? Like 4 cops coming out of nowhere, fucking wearing FUBU under cover bullshit, and I didn't make it out of there. The only reason why I made it out there is because I had my military ID on me. Well, we're gonna give you a warning and stuff, but it took 4 cops to swarm me, 5'7" petite ass me of all people. I guess I'm not petite anymore, but that's neither here nor there. Like, it's ridiculous and it's upsetting, and it left a sour taste in my mouth that I had to fucking shake off and then go to the beach and stuff. Like, it ridiculous.
I think it's being a black person in this country, you're constantly angry.
Yeah.
Even just being any person. I mean, like, everyone that was there, the people that were there watching this were a variety of ages, a variety of colors. And everyone was just like, what is going on, and why do you feel like you use this much force on one child?
Yes, she was a child.
Like, if you, as a grown-ass man, a grown person who weighs, it looks like you weigh twice as much as the person you're apprehending. She's not a fucking ninja or a spy. You don't need to be using this excessive force, but that's what happens in this country. You're constantly reminded how people's basic human rights just don't seem to matter. And over for $2.75.
Yeah, just for some fucking basic change, Like, she kept saying, like, if I had, I would have paid it,
She's like, I'm just trying to go home. That's it. Like, you're just trying to go home. If a teenager doesn't have $2.75 to get on the fucking train, if anyone doesn't have $2.75,
it does not warrant that much force.
Like, just let them go. You don't get paid. The subway does not get paid per person that goes in there.
Yeah, they're making money. They're making all sorts of, like, the subway is like almost like $1 billion industry, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
The CEOs, the amount of money the CEOs in the MTA make, they can cover a few people not paying the fucking fare.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're not losing money. They're not hurting, Like, fucking get out of my face with this bullshit,
So that was it. That's all I had.
Yeah.
Fuck the police.
Here. Fuck the police.
Abolition or bust. Defund the police.
Defund them.
And fuck Eric Adams just for
him and his fucking cop loving bullshit. So that was everything that pissed us off. We don't want to leave on a negative note, obviously. We want to leave on a more uplifting note. So how about we talk about the things that made us happy?
Yay!
I'm the baby merchant. Tots are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I'll have your baby for you.
Quick shout out to everybody who attended the beach day. So we had a lovely time. I'm talking Sam, Mulaney, and her kids, her awesome fucking kids.
They were so sweet. We love them.
Your Nazes, your Danny's and Keith's and Otto's and Wanjiko's and I forgot the name. Andy, yeah. Am I missing anybody?
No, it was me.
Oh, Josie, yeah.
Yes.
Josie as well. yeah. Shout out to all of y'all who came, showed up, showed out, had a lot of fun, played games, drank, went into the ocean. Odie, of course, was there as well. Didn't want to miss you out. Just a great day at the beach. And then afterwards we hung out at Danny's place for a little bit. Like listening to some music and hanging around in her backyard. And then afterwards, you, me, Sam, got a drink at Westbury Inn. Yeah. Sure,
You
why
can
not?
take that out.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. It's just a bar. It's just
It is a bar. It is a bar.
It's a nice bar, you know? Like we saw a nice little interracial couple dating there. About to leave to go get some of that Dak.
Umar Johnson was very upset. Or was he?
Or was he?
We don't know.
Exactly. We don't know. And it was just a overall really good day, and it brought me so much joy to spend that much time with my friends, the people that I care about, people I don't get to see all the time, people. It just was overall an amazing experience.
Yes.
Whew, sorry, I just had yawns and burps and stuff like while I was talking. Overall, that is sort of the highlight as far as I'm concerned for my week, is just getting ready for that beach day, executing it. Went off without a hitch.
Did.
And just a lot of fun. How about you?
The number one thing for me was the beach. It was the first beach of the year.
And it was a beautiful day.
It was a beautiful day, which I was worried about. It was warm enough that to go into the water at least 3 times and not feel stressed out. And I was being dried off by the sun, which is my favorite thing. Then, of course, my second favorite thing is doing this podcast with you. It always brings me so much joy. I had an interview that went well. So, fingers crossed for that. So I think that those things, they made me happy.
Yeah. So it's a good list.
Yes.
Good list. And a good note to end things on. So as always, we thank everybody for listening to this extended episode of the podcast.
Extended.
Yes. And we are going to head on out of here. Thank y'all for listening. We will be back next week with another one of these. And until then, take it easy, chill, and have a good night.
Bye.
Nope. Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snurdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snurdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorice is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD THATSOD.E, and on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Sturdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.